The lazy, hazy days of summer on a warm August evening in historic old Montreal. Tonight, Charlie Taft turns a page in time himself, returning to this city. The former Als coach is the visitor now, and his Tiger Cats are bound on saving their season. As the CFL season approaches the halfway point, some harsh realities have come into focus.
It's a deep ball for Bowman. He drops it again.
Montreal and Hamilton must accept their weaknesses, rally behind their strengths, and both have now made it clear. They are placing their hopes squarely on the shoulders of two rising young stars.
Lumsden breaks free into the secondary. Now he's gone.
Will it be too much too soon? Or can these two upstarts follow in their father's legendary footsteps? When the dust settles, it will be clear who has what it takes to surge ahead and who will fade away. Live from Molson Stadium on the campus of McGill University in Montreal, it's the Alouettes and Tiger Cats tonight in an all-East matchup. The Owls come off the bye week, hoping to pick up where they left off, riding a 3-game winning streak. The Ticats 1-6 and last begin a series of 4 straight games against East Division opponents tonight that could very well define their playoff fortunes. Good evening, I'm Mark Lee along with Kahari Jones. Welcome to the CFL on CBC. Well, Kahari, a young man with a very famous last name, is making his mark in Montreal. Jarrett Payton is the son of the late great Walter Payton, and he's coming off a monster game.
Yeah, I love watching Walter Payton as a kid, and now we have another Payton making his name north of the border. Played last game against Calgary, rushed for 160 yards. It seems like he's getting more comfortable every time he gets in the game. Montreal Alouettes felt like they could release a 1,000-yard rusher like Robert Edwards because of how Jarrett Payton has came on. I like him. He's averaging 6.3 yards a carry, and he's a big back, 6'1", 225 pounds, and kind of reminds you of somebody else we know, doesn't it?
Yeah, big Jesse Lumsden, just a year younger at 25 than Jarrett Payton. And, you know, Kahari, he's quickly becoming the best CFL hybrid as a running back and receiver.
He really is. I mean, this guy has almost 600 yards rushing the football, has almost 300 yards catching the football. He loves to catch a little screen pass. What you love about Jesse Lumsden is the speed. He has that 4th, 5th gear, and when he gets into the defensive backfield, he can turn a small gain into a big gain. What I would like to see with this Jesse Lumsden team is that he gets the ball even more. I mean, right now, he's averaging only 10 yards 10 rushes a game, and he's averaging about 3 catches a game. I think they can use him even more in the future.
Manage if he gets 20 carries a game. Look out. Okay, it's Lumsden and Payton, 2 backs clashing tonight. How about your game notes?
All right, let's start with them. On offense, take stock in Brock. Brock Ralph has only averaged 40 yards in his last 3 games. He needs to be a good complement to the running game of Jesse Lumsden. On defense, Tay must come to play. Tay Cody is the new free safety. They've had 8 different defensive lineups in 8 games. He's the 4th different free safety, but they think they have the right one. And on offense, Ben needs a friend. Who will step up for Ben with Ben Cahoon? You know what he can do, but he needs one of the other receivers to take some of the load off. And on defense, Chip cracks the whip. Chip Cox is the halfback for the Montreal Alouettes. He talks the talk, but they want him to be the shutdown halfback that they know he can be.
Clear skies overhead in southern Quebec. A beautiful, hot and humid, hazy night for football. Here in Montreal, 26 degrees, and the wind, though, gusting to 24 kilometers per hour. There's Charlie Taft making his first return to Montreal since the year 2000, when he led the Owls to the Grey Cup as the 2-time back-to-back CFL Coach of the Year. He was telling us yesterday, Kahari, he never thought rebuilding the Tiger Cats would be easy, but he said it's been awfully frustrating at 1-6.
Yeah, and I think he really has the right attitude with this team. Every time you talk to him, he knows that this is going to be a slow process, and you can't do it all overnight, and I think they do have the right man for the job.
The Alouettes won the toss and have deferred, and so Jason Armstead in Tiger Cat stripes for the first time tonight is back to return along with JoJo Walker as Damon Duvall puts the ball into the air, and we're underway at Molson Stadium. Jason Armstead from the 1-yard line, straight up the hash marks, and collared as he gets close to the 20-yard line. A 19-yard return on his first touch as Patrick Dorvelis makes the tackle.
We look at Jason Moss and the stats that he has this year, a lot better than last year. Not comparable to some of the other quarterbacks, maybe not so much, but much better. Go to the offensive line, the backfield. Jason Moss, Jesse Lumsden, look for Dickerson. I know Coach Tapp really likes Dickerson this year. And again, we have McCants, Darnarian McCants, big target over there. And Diakowski, somebody who learned a little bit last week. Look for him to come on strong this week.
Single tight formation on first down. The handoff is to Lumsden off tackle left, and it's tough going there against this Montreal defense, which is ranked number 2 against the run in the CFL.
Yeah, and Jesse Lumsden, I like to start them getting Jesse Lumsden the ball early, letting him get his legs under him. I mean, all good running backs want the ball early in the game. They want to feel that first hit or two and really get into the game that way.
Alan Kashima, the sophomore out of Michigan, a Montrealer, with the big tackle on Lumsden, a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5. Moss in the pocket. He's flushed, and now he's in trouble and sacked on the second series of the game. Devon Claybrooks with his 4th sack on the second play, and the Ticats will be forced to punt.
And there was a big mix-up in the defensive backfield. If Moss could have seen it, he's looking to the right, he sees everything, and he just gets a little pressure on him early on.
I thought he had time, though, Kahari.
Yeah, he had time, but he wasn't looking in the right place early on.
Nick Setta with the lowest punt average at 40.7, and it's short to midfield. Brian Bratton, one of only 2 punt returners in the CFL to bring one back for a touchdown this year, has his first return of just 7 yards on a 35-yard punt, and no yards will be the call on the play. Anthony Calvillo with a 71.6 completion percentage is the highest in the CFL right now. And Kahari, after giving up 3 picks in the first game against Saskatchewan, he's given up just 1 interception in the past 6 games, as we take a look at his backfield featuring Jared Payton now replacing Robert Edwards.
Exactly. And you go over to his receivers, you see Thurman and Watkins are really going to have to play a big role. Again, Cahoon is going to get the ball 7-8 times this game. Those guys are going to have to step up. And on the offensive line, Big Brian Chew in the middle. This is the 2nd game back from knee injury that he really solidifies that offensive line.
Luke Fritz also back from injury at right tackle. Double tight formation. Look at the field position for the Alouettes on first down. Play action starting at the 40. And it's complete to Anwar Stewart playing in the tight end position. The defensive end makes his presence felt on offense with a catch there. The gain will be about 21 yards, but there is a flag.
Oh. It's on Hamilton. You see Anwar Stewart, the ultimate. He was one of the first hybrid players.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Hamilton, number 2. That penalty is declined. First down.
Matt Clark, the rookie halfback. Actually, he's technically in his 2nd year, although he didn't play at all last year. He was injured in preseason with the Tiger Cats and didn't play. But he gets his first penalty in the CFL on his first defensive play. But how about Anwar Stewart in a trick play as a tight end, a 21-yard gain. Back to pass. Calvillo in trouble, and he's caught. Howard Hodges from the defensive tackle position has the sack, his 3rd of the season.
And that was a nice play by Howard Hodges. Hamilton Tiger Cats have to be fortunate that they got a good rush on this play, because Ben Cahoon gets open past the linebackers, but Howard Hodges makes sure that Calvillo does not have time to see him.
Anthony Calvillo has now been sacked 32 times this season, more than any other quarterback in the CFL. 5 receiver set, 2nd and 20 as Dave Stala checks in to the football game for the first time this season. More pressure. The ball's loose. The Ticats have it. Clinton Wayne is on it for Hamilton. as the Tiger Cats bring more pressure on Calvillo. And not McKay Lozier. Looked like he got his hand in there. He did to force it free, and the Cats take over. Not McKay Lozier with the forced fumble on Anthony Calvillo, who was sacked and then forced to cough it up here on 2nd and 20.
You see Naughton McKay Lozier coming on the outside here, just uses a speed move. Doesn't try anything tricky, just says, hey, I'm faster than you. I can get around the edge, and gets to Calvillo.
The Tiger Cats came into this game with just 13 sacks, ranked last in that defensive category in the CFL. They've got 1 sack, their 14th already, and now a forced fumble as they take over on offense in a double tight end formation. Moss in the shotgun. Back deeper, throwing downfield for Jason French. He jumps for it, and he's got it. Jason French coming back to the football in coverage against the rookie Jesse Hendricks out of Eastern Washington. And French, who gets the start tonight in place of the banged up Chris Bauman, has his first catch of the night.
That's Jason French just knowing where this ball is. He makes a great adjustment right after Jason Moss throws it to get inside of the defensive back. The safety doesn't have time to get over. Jason French makes it happen on the wheel route.
It's a gain of 29 yards and a first down at the 48 of Montreal. Moss now, 5 receivers downfield, and his crossing route is batted out of the air, and it's Clay Brooks again, this time getting his hand high in the air to bat it down for the Alouettes. Let's check that defensive alignment, Kahari.
On the defense, you see Clay Brooks just with that bat down there. Anwar Stewart already catching a pass early in this game. Linebackers, not a lot of experience on this linebacking core. Mackey only playing in his 3rd game here. They're going to have their work cut out for him with Jesse Lumsden. In the defensive backfield, look for Cox and Drew to really have to be on their games because they like to throw to their slot receivers.
Moss, crossing route is complete to Nate Curry. Curry with a straight arm on Chip Cox, still battling Diamond Ferry. And he'll move the yardsticks again as this Ticat offense has come out on his 2nd series with Moxie.
Nice under route by Curry. He gets under the defense. What Chip Cox, he has to go through all of these problems underneath. He has linebackers he has to go through. There's just a lot of traffic that under route creates. And Chip Cox can't get over there in time, and then on top of it, he misses the tackle.
Nate Curry, the rookie out of Georgia Tech, with a gain of 15. Another big play against this Montreal defense. Double tight formation again. This time it's the handoff to Lumsden. Off tackle left. He's at full tilt, but cut down by Anwar Stewart at that defensive end position. Lumsden coming into this game, just 2 previous games against the Alouettes, with nearly an 8-yard average.
Yeah, and Jesse Lumsden getting the ball east-west right now. The thing that Anwar Stewart wants to do is make sure he goes east and west, but when this guy gets to going north and south, he is something special.
Lumsden with an 8-yard average last game, 7.9 to be exact on 10 carries, 8.8-yard average overall. Here's the pitch out to Lumsden, trying to get him outside. He breaks the tackle. It's loose. The ball has been fumbled. And it looks like Dickerson may have been quick to get on that fumble for the Ticats, and he is. Corey Dickerson with the recovery as Lumsden puts the ball down.
Luckily, they might have a first down after all of this. He gets up. Nice play by the defensive lineman there to knock the ball out of Jesse Lumsden's hands. But Corey Dickerson, quick on his feet, able to get to that ball first.
Bring the yardsticks in now for a measurement. And it will be a first down on the fumble recovery by Corey Dickerson. On the sidelines tonight, Greggy Freres.
Hey guys, Jesse Lumsden obviously coughing up the ball, but was most interesting to me as he was coming back to the Hamilton sideline, he was grabbing his right shoulder and he was in a lot of pain. Hopefully we get a picture of that, guys, because he, I don't know if it's as serious as it might be.
Greg, 2 weeks ago, Lumsden had a big pass and run play and hit the turf hard on that shoulder and was wincing in pain. Sure, the Ticats hope it's not a recurrence there, that shoulder problem. Double tight formation. Moss firing in traffic. It's complete to Julian Radlin. Radlin with only his 4th catch of this season, who has been used sparingly at the fullback position, mostly as a blocker.
And again, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are really doing a nice job of spreading the ball out early on. Anwar Stewart out in coverage. They know they have the advantage with Julian Radlin. He's a very good flat runner and makes a nice catch on that one.
Anthony Davis into the game in the backfield for Jesse Lumsden. Davis playing his first downs of the season. 2nd and 3. Moss with time. Waiting. Now he throws. Wide open is Brock Ralph across the 5, and a first down inside the 3-yard line. The Tiger Cats leading receiver with a big catch, his first of the game.
And that play was all on the offensive line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They gave Jason Moss so much time. He was able to look for his 2nd, 3rd receiver, then come back to one of his first reads, who was Brock Ralph, wide open in the middle of the field. Offensive line gets all the credit on that one.
Last game against the Alouettes back in July in Hamilton, Brock Ralph had 4 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown. This one for 14, and Moss is 4 for 5 through the air on this drive. 65 yards. Fumbling the snap, he picks it up, trying to get away, and he's pulled down from behind by T.J. Hill. The Will linebacker in the backfield quickly, but Moss quick to pick up the fumbled football.
And this is one of the traits of teams that are having troubles. You get down toward the end zone, and those little mistakes happen that don't happen anywhere else on the field. But when you're a good team, you need to be able to make sure you get control of that snap first. I think Jason does a good job in just holding on to that ball and giving his team another down to try to get this touchdown.
Lumsden back on his feet at the Ticat bench. 2nd and 4, a loss of 2 on that play. Moss up behind the center. Marlon Page back to pass into the end zone. Incomplete. Just past the fingertips of Julian Radlin. And so this promising drive stalls.
Jason Moss wants this ball back for sure. Tries to get it out there. Julian Radlin as a fullback trying to make a spectacular catch, but never gets both hands on it. He's got to hit a fullback right in the chest.
Moss shaking his head. He had that fullback open on the quick out inside the goal line. And so Nick Seta will come in to attempt this field goal from the 11-yard line. Seta has been terrific in his rookie year, good on 81% of his field goals. Timmy Chang to hold. It's up and good. Seta from 11 yards out, and the Ticats hit the scoreboard first in Montreal. Another big crowd at Molson Stadium on this August 25th evening in Montreal. A special hello tonight to our international viewers. The CFL on CBC being beamed throughout the United States and up to 90 million households. And what a busy day it's been in the Pop household. Jim Pop and his wife Kim celebrating the birth today of the couple's 5th child. Kim giving birth to a baby boy, Peyton James Hamilton, this morning at 11:08 right next door at the Royal Victoria Hospital. Their 5th child. Everyone's doing great, and Jim is back in time for kickoff. Brian Bratton now returning the kick from Seta, breaks a tackle, scoots across the 35, and is downed at the 37-yard line. A 30-yard return. I mentioned off the top of the broadcast, Calvillo really setting the standard, Kahari Jones, with just 1 interception thrown in the past 6 games, out to make good though on the fumble on that last series.
Yeah, definitely. And Anthony Calvillo, he set such a high standard for himself over the years. I mean, so many 5,000-yard seasons, so many touchdowns that his stats right now don't look all that great, but he is playing very good football.
First down, Alouettes at their 37. Play action, quick hitch outside. Brian Bratton loses his footing and is tripped up quickly by the rookie Sam linebacker Michael Harden. Let's check that Hamilton defense, Kahari.
Yeah, on the D-line, there's been some tinkering of positions, but especially from that first series, it looks like they have some things right with McKay Lozier leading the way. The linebacking crew, it's all about Armour and Zeke Moreno. In the defensive backfield, Tay Cody in the middle, first time playing free safety. Have to see how he is able to do back there.
Yeah, rookie Matt Clark at the boundary halfback position. The 8th time in 8 games they've shook up that secondary. There's Jarrett Payton with his first catch of the football game, and Joanne Armour introduces himself to Payton. It's a short gain of the play, maybe 1 close to 2 yards.
Yeah, they just get Payton on a little flat route. The same thing that Radlin did earlier in the game, but Hamilton looks like they're ready for it. Again, the strength of this Hamilton defense is their linebacking crew. They're able to go back and help out the defensive backs and then come up quickly once they see the pass thrown.
Payton coming off that big game, last game 2 weeks ago against Calgary, 20 carries for 160 yards. Says he'd like to be more involved in the passing game. As Duval hammers it deep. A high spiral to Jason Armstead. Armstead at the 25, a stutter step, now upfield quickly, and not much room to maneuver there. A 47-yard punt and just an 8-yard return. You're watching the CFL on CBC Innings.
Welcome back to Montreal, where the Ticats lead the Owls 3-0, and it looks like Jesse Lumsden is back in this game. A little bit earlier, he hurt his shoulder. The training staff, doctors were working on it for the past 5 to 10 minutes, but he's back out in the field. Yesterday, Mark and Kahari, I spoke with him about the shoulder injury. At least I asked him what was wrong with his shoulder. He says, nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, everyone this week is asking me that, but it's the stomach flu that's the problem.
Yes, he's a warrior, Brenda. He won't let on that he's been nicked. As he takes the football off tackle right, can't get those shoulders squared as Diamond Ferry and Lewis Mackey are quick to make the tackle for a gain of 3 yards. Brenda mentioned the stomach problems as we take another look at that short carry by Jesse Lumsden. He has been in for medical tests because he has not been feeling right since he rushed for 211 yards about 3 weeks ago against Winnipeg.
Yeah, he has some stomach problems. He's having the shoulder problems. These are the things that when you are that main back, when you are the guy that's carrying the ball, you have to be able to fight through these things, and it's a good sign to see him in the game.
Yeah, all the tests came up negative. That's a good sign, and he's playing football tonight. Here's Moss now in the pocket, breaks a sack attempt there. Now Claybrooks gives chase. Moss scooting outside, and he's hammered out of bounds. Matthew Prue drilling the Ticat quarterback out of touch at the Hamilton bench. And it'll be 3rd down again, maybe 1 on the play.
You're going to see slide protection here. They're only rushing 3, so the quarterback definitely needs time when you're rushing 3 guys, and Jason Moss does not get that time. When you have 9 people back in coverage, it's very hard to find a receiver.
Brian Bratton back to return this punt again. A good hang time from Seta, but short. Bratton at the 36, and quickly wrapped up by the special teams tackling leader, Ryan Glasper. Anthony Calvillo running an efficient offense that has really blossomed in the last 3 weeks, Kahari Jones, with the reemergence of the running game under Jarrett Payton. It's opened the passing game as well.
It definitely has. You don't pay as much attention to the pass when you have the run, and it opens the play action.
On the ground, Payton up the gut into traffic. And Zeke Moreno, the leading tackler on this Ticat defense and number 2 in that department behind Barron Simpson in the CFL, sticks his nose into Payton. The gain is just 2 on the play. This Tiger Cat defense ranked 5th against the run in the CFL, anchored by Zeke Moreno, a rookie out of USC. Lots of NFL experience. Kerry Watkins alone on the boundary side. That's where Calvillo is throwing, and he's got a completion in one-on-one coverage against the rookie Dwight Anderson.
Montreal does on this play. They put 4 receivers on one side. They put 1 on the weak side. and it gives Anthony Cavillo an instant read. He knows from the second that he gets up on the line how the defense is lined up, that it's going to be man-to-man coverage. He feels like Kerry Watkins against anybody, he will take that and use it to his advantage.
Gain of 14 and a first down. Kerry Watkins had his best game of the year against the Cats in July. 7 catches for 99, and he's got another one. A little hook curl in front of the corner for a short game. Going after Anderson, as you like to call the weak caribou.
You love that weak caribou. You got to always look for him. You see man-to-man coverage, you say, hey, which guy can we really exploit? Which guy can we pick on? Today, they feel like it's Dwight Anderson. They must have seen something on film that said, you know what, this guy is showing us something and we can beat him.
Well, he's given Watkins a lot of respect there. A good 10, 12 yards off the line on that play. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard pickup by Watkins. Here comes the Hamilton blitz. Calvillo stays in the pocket. Now he rolls, escaping to the near side, throws it up for grabs. It's caught by Elijah Thurman. A floater for a first down. And a heads-up play by the quarterback, who has chemistry with Thurman since coming here this year. But a flag down on the play.
That's a case of Anthony Cavillo making something happen with his feet. Very underrated as a runner and as a scrambler, but he has been able to do it his whole career.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Hamilton, number 2. That penalty is declined. First down.
That's Matt Clark's second penalty of this football game.
Yeah, Matt Clark is getting a trial by fire right now. They try a rub route on the weak side where 2 receivers come together and then go apart. You need defensive backs that really have played with each other to defend that. And again, Matt Clark's first game, he's going to be in tough.
It is a first down at the 37 of the Tiger Cats. Calvillo handing off. Payton with some speed and steam. Lowers his head and lowers the boom to the 20. Michael Harden makes the tackle as Jared Payton has some get up and go. That
is when you see what Jared Payton is about. He gets into the open field. He uses his speed. Zeke Moreno, who is the best tackler on this Hamilton Tiger Cat defense, he runs right through the tackle.
Jared Payton with 301 yards rushing in 3 games previous to this one, with a 6.3-yard average and a gain there of 17 yards. Not much finesse, not much wiggle, as David Benefield would say. He just went straight up the gut.
No, he didn't need the wiggle on that play. He said, hey, let me use all of this 225 pounds I'm carrying and run through a tackler.
Marcel Belfait, the offensive coordinator for the Alouettes, was saying yesterday that he likes Payton. He's a young Robert Edwards, he says, with more burst and more elusive than the veteran. He gets the call again, scoots outside, dragged and finally down as Moreno gets a shot on him. Not McKay Lozier helping to string out that running play. Short yardage, just 2.
Yeah, and he doesn't get a lot on this play, but he is not allowing the first guy to make the tackle on him. And he sees McKay Lozier has a chance. He doesn't get there. Hamilton does a good job of gang tackling, make sure that 2, 3, 4 people are over there and hold it to a 2-yard gain.
Zeke and Destroy. He was quickly nicknamed in Hamilton with that aggressive style at Mac linebacker. 2nd and 8. Handoff on the draw, and Payton was hit quickly. Almost looked like he bumped into his own man there.
Yeah, that play ended because Clinton Wayne just gave a nice upfield block on Brian Chew and didn't allow that because they did have the draw. But Clinton Wayne comes up on Brian Chew, pushes him back into the draw, into the handoff, and ruins everything that Montreal was trying to do.
Yeah, Clinton Wayne just bull rushed Chew into the backfield, and so a field goal attempt here for the Alouettes. Damon Duval will make this attempt from the 27-yard line, straight down the middle. Ben Cahoon to hold. Duval has struggled this year at 68% completion of his field goals. This one, though, is a straight shot, splitting the uprights to tie the football game at 3. On the final play of the first quarter here in Montreal, Moss has the Cats moving. Calvillo returning with a field goal there. It's a close football game after 1 quarter of play here at Percival Molson Stadium in Montreal. 3-3 on 2 field goals. We checked the first quarter statistics.
Yeah, and both teams, I mean, their statistics are as equal as the score right now. Passing the ball real well, using play action well, and they're both really committed to the running game early on. You have the 1 turnover by Montreal. But again, 4 first downs on both teams, and time of possession is the same.
Duval set to kick off the second quarter. The Alouettes have owned the Ticats, winning 9 of their last 10 confrontations. The Cats trying to beat Montreal for the first time in 6 consecutive games. Starting tonight from the 1, Jason Armstead to the 15, speed hurdling. Now he's on his horse and across the 33. And there's a flag down on the play. Sean Diner in making contact on special teams for the Alouettes. And Armstead, who had just 1 day of practice this week with Hamilton, went home to visit family and friends in Mississippi. Looks like he's all jacked up.
Illegal block. Hamilton, number 15. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And just like that, it comes back. Jason French, the illegal block.
Yeah, with Jason Armstead, there's one thing you can't teach, and that's the speed. You see him just take the guy out right in the back. Coaches always say that if you can see a guy's back, then don't block them. He decided to break that rule.
Tiger Cats are second last in the penalty department in the CFL, right behind Calgary, or just ahead of Calgary, rather. Last game against Edmonton was the first time they had under 100 yards in penalties. 5 receiver set, first down at the 15. The snap goes into the end zone, and Lumsden is heads up to kick it out for 2 points. And a miscue there as Moss has words with his center, Hage. He wasn't even ready for the snap.
No, total miscommunication. You see all the line go off. They think he's doing a signal to hike the ball. And Jason Moss is trying to audible. You see him tapping his head, letting the receivers know that they need to do something else, and all of a sudden the ball is behind him. Jesse Lumsden heads up play by kicking that out of the end zone.
So a mix-up there as Moss confers on the Ticat bench. And the 2 points will give the Alouettes a 5-3 lead here to start this second quarter. A reminder, after football tonight, Toronto FC aims to snap their goalless streak as they battle DC United at BMO Field. Major League Soccer on CBC is up next with Nigel Reed and Craig Forrest right after our game at 10 Eastern. Have you been in situations like that where you're trying to call an audible and there's a mix-up with the center?
Oh, definitely. And one of the disadvantages of not playing at home and having the crowd noise and everything is that the center can't hear you. So as soon as he hears you start the cadence, he just assumes that the cadence should be at a certain time. And so I don't even think Marwan Hage was really listening to Jason Moss. He just snapped it when he thought it should be snapped, and Jason was trying to change the play.
Yeah, a lot of centers get used to their quarterback's rhythm, right? They're doing it in their head and thinking that the ball's got to come out at a certain time, and especially with this crowd here, really creating problem with the noise.
Definitely. I can see them going to the silent count pretty soon.
Bratton now from his 10, upfield, gets through the first wave, and then is quickly wrestled to the turf by Lawrence Gordon. A 27-yard return for Bratton, who has one of 2 punt return touchdowns on the year in the CFL. There's Marcel Belfait, the offensive coordinator, who calls the plays for Anthony Calvillo, and he was telling us yesterday that they like the script series, and he shows Anthony Calvillo what his ready list will be for a certain game and lets him rank the plays in terms of his preference. Do you like that?
I do. I like it, and it is very different for Anthony Calvillo right now because he's used to calling his own plays. I mean, he's gone for a number of years being the main play caller. He can call anything he wants, and now he has his coach on the sideline calling those plays for him, so it is an adjustment period. I know as a quarterback, I did both different ways. There are different ways of doing it. It works out both ways. I've had success, but it is a different thing for the quarterback.
One thing Belfait said that Calvillo likes is the fact that he doesn't have to worry about personnel groups. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, the personnel groups, basically, when you want to call a certain play, when he's calling his own plays, he has to make sure that he has the right personnel for it. Now the coach on the sideline is the one that's in charge of all that. So it just takes some things off of Anthony Calvillo's shoulders. He doesn't have to worry, say, 5 receivers. Oh, this play is for 6 receivers. I have to get another guy in. He leaves all that to the coach now and just goes out and runs the play.
And Calvillo has really got this offense clicking during this 3-game winning streak. You talk about having to deal with a new offense with Marcel Belfait calling the plays this year. Anthony's also had to deal with a lot of change in offense. They've gone through 9 different receivers so far in the first half of the season, 6 different running backs, and 7 offensive linemen.
Oh, yeah, that is a change for sure.
But Calvillo has been 6 for 6 through the air. Empty backfield. Quickly to Kerry Watkins. In coverage by Gordon, and what a second effort by Watkins, who wrestles his way across the first down marker.
Yeah, and it looks like the Montreal Alouettes have said that Kerry Watkins is going to be their feature guy and the guy that they're going to use instead of Ben Cahoon, especially in this first half. They come up and jam Ben Cahoon, but he is basically just a guy in the way on that play to allow Kerry Watkins to go get the ball.
Watkins coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with the Alouettes, 3 for 33 through the air in a double tight formation now. Calvillo throwing backside. Watkins reaching, and he's got it. And a first down at the Tiger Cat 30.
I think Anthony Calvillo has found a couple of weak caribous on this defense. He has Dwight Anderson and Lawrence Gordon. It doesn't matter who's over there covering. They feel like they have the advantage when Kerry Watkins is out on the field. And so Anthony Calvillo, as soon as he sees his man-to-man coverage, where's Kerry Watkins? Completion.
Watkins missing 3 games in the young season with an ankle injury. And back to form. Play action. And Calvillo just threw it away. And that's his first incompletion of the football game.
And non-McKay Loescher, great job on the end to play the run and then the pass. He plays the running back, starts at the running back, and then goes through to Anthony Calvillo. Anthony Calvillo does the right thing and throws it into the stands.
Calvillo gets the play call from Belfait, checks his wristband, and makes the call in the huddle on 2nd and 10. He's got a 6-receiver set here on 2nd and long. A 3-man rush, 9 in coverage, and it's short and incomplete, intended for Ben Cahoon. And so that drive, which was ignited by the connections to Kerry Watkins, falls short.
Both teams are moving the ball well, just having trouble finishing. You know, Anthony Calvillo makes that throw 9 out of 10 times, 9.5 out of 10 times, especially to Ben Cahoon. They have great chemistry together. This time he just throws it short.
He has had trouble in the last couple of years throwing those passes to the right. He told me yesterday 2 or 3 times in a game he'll miss passes to the right, and that new sideways drop back was supposed to help work on that, but he misses there. It's a 37-yard attempt for Damon Duval. Duval with a 2-step run at it. It's good. The Ticats down by 5 as we go to the break.
Welcome back to Montreal, where the Alouettes lead the Ticats 8-3. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Hamilton coach Charlie Taft, this is his first game back as a visitor. He said yesterday that's probably why he lined up on Friday on the wrong side of the field during the walkthrough. He remembers this stadium as a great place to play as the home coach, but wasn't quite sure how much he'd like it as the coach of the opposing team. And Charlie's wife Jan and son Brian, who's actually a pretty good football player here, have joined him in Montreal this weekend. He said it gives them a chance to catch up with friends from their old Montreal neighborhood. Mark?
Yes, Charlie was telling me in the bye week that was the first time he got home since May. So he's had some homesickness as Patrick Dorvelis stops Jason Armstead in his tracks. A 14-yard return for the new Tiger Cat. And Jason Moss coming back into the football game, trying to shake off that mix-up on the snap that sailed past his head into the end zone and ended up being a safety on the wise play by Lumsden to kick it out. And a substitution now on the offensive line for the Tiger Cats as Pascal Charon, the 8-year veteran, comes in for rookie Peter Diakowski. Charon is playing this game without an ACL, had it blown out of his leg 3 weeks ago in Winnipeg. Moss throwing. Ralph up for the ball. He's out of bounds, and it's incomplete. Brock Ralph can't stay inside the sideline. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and Jason Moss had to put a little bit of lift on that ball, and it causes him to kind of let the ball float on him because he has him open. He just lifts it up a little too much. Looks like he might have got his foot down, but the refs say he didn't.
Referee right there with a good look at it.
He had a better view than we did, I guess.
2nd and 10 from tough field position at the 19-yard line of the Tiger Cats. Moss with a quick pre-snap read of that Alouette defense. They only rush 3. Moss has time. He goes to the flats. Jason French straight upfield, and Kobe Reinhardt into the game at corner makes the tackle, and it'll be well shy of the first down, and so the Tiger Cats will be forced to punt.
Yeah, Montreal just rushes 3, goes to a 9-deep zone. This is the throw that Montreal wants. They want him to throw it underneath. They want him to throw 2 or 3 yards, and then they rally up to the ball, make the tackle, and Hamilton is punting the football.
There's Brad Miller, the associate head coach on that Alouette sideline, as Nick Seta, struggling tonight with a 36-yard punt average, gets a better one away now. A deep punt, forcing Brian Bratton way back. He underestimated it and maybe touched the football. It's loose. The Ticats say they've got it. Hamilton football. Brian Bratton was not deep enough on that punt of 63 yards. As Philippe Gauthier, the former Alouette, has the recovery.
What a punt. Now, see, that's a rookie mistake, really. When the ball is back like that, let it bounce. He doesn't realize that, hey, they still can't go to it as long as I don't touch the football. He touches the football early. That gives Hamilton free rein to go after it, and they make the big play, a play that they definitely needed after 2 very short series.
So the CFL's punt return leader with a gaff there, and the former Alouette comes home with a big fumble recovery in Philippe Gauthier. And it sets up the Tiger Cats 1st and 10 from the Alouette 17-yard line. Moss rolling right, coming back to the short side. He'll run this time, lowers his head and hits Diamond Ferry. There's a flag down in the vicinity of Brock Ralph, who's complaining that he was held on the play. We'll let the officials sort it out.
Yeah, this was a screen pass. They tried to get the ball off to Brock Ralph on this ball, but he was held by Anwar Stewart on the play.
That's the call from referee Murray Clark, and that will take the football half the distance to the goal line.
I'll draw it up.
Holding. Montreal number 9. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
Anwar Stewart, the big veteran who started this game with a big catch on offense and a big tackle on Jesse Lumsden, has a holding call here that will spot the ball inside the 9-yard line. 1st and goal, Tiger Cats. Moss, single tight end to the boundary. Handing off, that's where they'll rush it to Lumsden. Lumsden stuffed by Lewis Mackey as he gets close to the 5-yard line. Lewis Mackey, who was on the practice roster for a couple of games this season, cut by the Alouettes and brought back when Kai Ellis went down with an injury with a big tackle there.
Yeah, nice job by Lewis Mackey. They run the ball in the hole. Mackey just lines up in the hole. He follows his lineman over there, gets down low in the hole, and gets a good shot on Jesse Lumsden, something that you definitely need to do against a big load.
Just a gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and goal from the 6. And Jason Moss calls a timeout. And it's awfully noisy here at Molson Stadium. But a wise call by a veteran quarterback when there's uncertainty on a key play.
Yeah, definitely. When you're inside the 10-yard line like they are, you don't want to make a mistake. Inside your own 10, inside your 10 going in. You don't want to make those mistakes that cause you not to put points on the board. Jason Moss saw something he didn't like the way they were lined up and said, let's just call a timeout here and compose ourselves, get the right play for the right situation.
Stewart getting set to anchor the defense for the Owls, who have been very tough against the run this season. Moss now with the call he likes on 2nd and goal from the 6. He's got a 5-receiver set, and again the crowd making it difficult to be heard. Flags are down and the play is whistled down. It's a procedure call against the Ticats, and the fans are the 13th man on that play.
Oh yeah, the fans caused that wholeheartedly.
Illegal procedure. Hamilton, number 66. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
It's the veteran Pascal Charon.
Hamilton is going to have to find an answer for these fans, because right now the offensive line cannot all the way hear Jason Moss back there, and it's causing a lot of problems so far in this game.
Alouettes with a 6th DB into the game now on 2nd and goal from the 11. Crowd now deafening. In the silent count, Moss looking, throwing deep to the end zone. Jason French coming back for it. It's incomplete, but flags are down. French in close coverage couldn't come up with it at the back of the end zone. Here's the call. It's against the Tiger Cats, as the defensive captain Anwar Stewart looks like he made the decline.
Holding. Hamilton, number 59. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
And what that penalty does, what the last play, the penalty before this does, is it changes Montreal's defense. They started a man-to-man defense. Now, because they're 13 yards out, they can afford to rush 3 guys. And with that 3 guys still getting pressure, you can't put your hand in a defender's head up by his helmet. Jason Moss tries to give him a chance, but it's a moot point because of the penalty.
The 5th Tiger Cat penalty to just 1 by the Alouettes. From the 18-yard line, Nick Setta. And it's good. So the Ticats get 3 back, but they've had some promising drives come to a halt in the Alouette red zone. Anwar Stewart, a force on that defensive stand for Montreal, and he's wearing the mic tonight.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
Let's go, fellas. Let's keep it up this trend. Whip ass at home. We do not lose here anymore. That's the way. Good job. Good job. There you go, baby. That's what we're talking about. Huh? That's what we're talking about.
Big Anwar Stewart was in the doghouse with that penalty. Made a couple of big plays down deep as Jared Payton carries the rock up the middle. But Anwar Stewart has been a force, and you know, it was all Anwar Stewart, those 2 penalties by the Ticats. I mean, the procedure, they were jittery. Charon was jittery, and then the hold as he came outside.
Yeah, Anwar Stewart is just a very good, not only a good athlete, but he's a very smart player. So he reads the offense well, and he knows what they're trying to do to him and counteracts it very well.
But how about the Ticats taking consecutive penalties after a timeout in the scoring zone? Here's Calvillo bouncing in the pocket, and it's an arrow to Ben Cahoon, and a flag by the quarterback. It's a holding call called against the Alouettes, so it's coming back.
Nice play by Ben Cahoon. You know what you're going to get with Ben Cahoon. They just run a little in-out combination.
So the holding call will negate that pass completion to Ben Cahoon, who came into this football game leading the CFL in both receptions and yardage, but has since been passed by your old buddy, Milt Stegall, in the yardage category. Dave Stala into the game now at 5 receiver set. Stala playing for the first time after missing 7 games with a foot injury. Calvillo, another bullet, and Elijah Thurman settles in the middle of the field, still on his feet, battling that secondary, and finally brought to rest at the 50-yard line. A 20-yard gain to Elijah Thurman, who has quickly formed some chemistry in Montreal with Anthony Calvillo.
Yes, he has, and it's a big target out there. He's got about 3 or 4 inches on all the defensive backs. This was zone coverage, and there were big holes in this zone. When you see a guy catch a ball and nobody is 5 yards, within 5 yards of him, you know that something has broken down in that zone.
He's a half a foot taller than Matt Clark, who's playing at the boundary half tonight. Handoff, Jared Payton off tackle left, full speed ahead, and Zeke Moreno finally makes the tackle. It's a first down.
Just like Jared Payton said in the pregame, he's out to show that he is the best back in this game right now, and he is making a case for that. He's going downhill, he's getting the blocks initially, but then again, making that first guy miss, getting into that second level, 10 yards before he's even touched.
What a delightful young man. We had a chance to have a conversation with him yesterday after practice here in Montreal, and he was saying, you know, I'll never be able to run away from my dad's last name. But my dad never pressured me to play football. In fact, he got him into soccer at the age of 3. And had always been a very motivating force in his young life. And then, of course, he made that statement to us on camera saying he wears number 33, 1 less than his dad's 34, because it's a respect thing. I know I could never measure up to my father on the football field.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic story.
Anwar Stewart back into the game as a tight end in a double tight formation on 1st and 10. Calvillo throwing the deep ball to Thurman. He dropped it. He had it for a moment.
Incomplete. Second down, 10 yards to go.
The ball was on the money.
Beautiful pass by Anthony Calvillo. I mean, he couldn't have put this in a better place. Thurman wants that ball back. He goes into the air for that ball, and I don't think he even necessarily had to jump up. He could have kept running in stride and caught that ball because it was a nice thrown ball, but Thurman decides to go up and ends up not coming down with it.
6 receiver set now on 2nd and 10. The Alouettes with 4 to the wide side. That's where Calvillo looks, a crossing route. It's complete, but well short of the first down to the Owls' leading receiver, Ben Cahoon, and Zeke Moreno in coverage on Cahoon with step for step in a big tackle.
You can tell Zeke Moreno watched a lot of film on this team. He takes the first fake. He's able to come back. Good feet for a middle linebacker. You don't see many linebackers that are able to stay with Ben Cahoon, but Zeke Moreno takes the fake and moves on.
They'll be less than a yard shy of the first down. And a timeout has been called by the Alouettes as their fans encourage them to go for it. The Alouettes have been very successful in 2nd and long situations, and they haven't been in many against the Ticats this year. Marcel Belfay was telling us yesterday that they ran 63 plays against Hamilton in their first meeting at Hamilton, and were in 2nd and 10 only twice. That's amazing.
That is very amazing, and that's the one thing that you want to stay out of when you're an offense, because defenses can do so many different things to you. As you see Marcus Brady come in this game, usually he comes in when it's time to run the quarterback sneak.
But he has emerged as a pretty good punter, and so that puts a little bit more pressure on the defense. But the athletic backup, Brady, coming up behind his center, Ryan Chu, on 3rd and less than a yard with the quarterback sneak, and he'll have it and more. As Michael Harden, the Sam linebacker, came in to make the tackle. Some pushing and shoving after the play. Chu goes down, takes his helmet off. That's an infraction in the CFL. Now he's saying it fell off.
Yeah, he's making sure to talk to the referees quickly, saying, hey, I didn't take my helmet off. Just a little problem here.
It just came off.
Don't throw the flag.
Looks like he's going to get a break there. And they're going to measure, although it looked like Brady was well across the 41.
Yeah, I think the second effort by Brady really got him over. You see Chew stood up a little bit on that play initially. Brady has to go off of Chew and into the second level where Harden is waiting for him.
Yes. First down for Jim Pop and the Owls on the third down gamble in Hamilton territory. Pop in his first full season as a head coach in the CFL, his 12th as a general manager, and Brady does his job.
That gives a lot of confidence to the offensive line.
The Owls doubling up the Ticats in first down department. Kerry Watkins again alone to the short side. Play action. Calvillo rolling wide. Dumps it across the middle. Cahoon is wide open. Tay Cody makes the tackle. But Ben Cahoon scrambling to a first down, Montreal.
Nice job by Montreal offense, a little inside rub. Ben Cahoon just slow plays it, comes back inside. Again, these Hamilton Tiger Cats have not played together for very long. So when you have one guy following a receiver and one guy thinking you're gonna banjo and switch off, that you're gonna find a wide open Ben Cahoon.
Gain of 17, he made the catch and looked around, there was nobody there. He was looking for somebody to tackle him. First down at the 22, here comes the blitz. The ball's away quickly on a bubble screen to Kerry Watkins, and Tay Cody playing at that free safety position. The fifth free safety the Cats have used this year has the tackle, but it's a gain of 7.
Yeah, they needed all to take Cody on that play because Kerry Watkins almost finds a seam on this, but Tay Cody, I think because of his halfback background, he wants to get up into the play and makes the tackle quickly.
Cody had to beat the block of the right guard, Scott Flory, who was down quickly downfield. And there's an injured Tiger Cat on the play. Marcus West, the rookie out of Memphis, is down. And so we'll take a break at Molson Stadium with the Owls leading and threatening to add to it. Jermaine Reed is into the football game on the D-line for Hamilton as Marcus West makes his way off the football field. And on offense now, a substitution at right tackle. There's Dave Mudge, who had arthroscopic knee surgery 12 days ago, is playing here tonight, alternating with Luke Fritz. 2nd and 3. At the 15 of Hamilton. All kinds of motion now. Movement along the line of scrimmage as not McKay Lozier was quick off the mark, and the Alouettes are pointing at the Ticats with the flag down.
Yeah, it looked like not McKay Lozier got a little jumpy on the end there.
It is offside. And Lozier is the culprit, and penalties continue to hurt the Tiger Cats in this first half. It'll be a first down.
Yeah, these halfbacks definitely have their work cut out for them. You see Naughton McKay Lozier, but I think the motion is really what set him off, because he saw all the receivers moving at one time and just took off.
First down at the 10. Another movement on the line of scrimmage. Up the gut is Payton, dragging his way to the goal line with a flag down. And Jarrett Payton, who's facing a 4-man front for the first time in his young CFL career. He faced 3-4 fronts in the last 3 games.
I think he needs a 5- or 6-man front. He doesn't seem to mind the 4-man.
Quickly to the sidelines, Greg Freres come in.
Well, 2 plays ago, you saw obviously a lot of movement from the Montreal receivers. I'm really surprised that Montreal has not shown more waggle against this inexperienced secondary for Hamilton. They've been very stagnant. I think it's making it very easy on the secondary for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Greg. And what Greg is saying, when they're waggling, they have a lot of movement in the backfield. So the guys are coming from one side and going to the other. And you saw it even on that play. Even though Naughton McKay Lozier went offside, you saw those halfbacks having to think about things. And the last thing you want your defensive backs to do is have to think about who they're supposed to cover.
Offside to Hamilton was declined. 2nd and goal from the 1. Double tight with a bunch formation. They stack the line of scrimmage. Marcus Brady with the quarterback sneak for a touchdown. Marcus Brady through the traffic at the goal line with his second rushing touchdown of the season.
Just a nice drive by the Montreal Alouettes all the way around. They used a motion great at the end of that drive that Jared Payton was able to get them all the way down into scoring range, and they used play action effectively. Very nice drive.
An 11-play drive as Damon Duval gets set to cap it with the convert. It's good, and the Alouettes go up 15-6. We take another look at that rugby-like touch.
Again, Marcus Brady, second effort, just backing in, keeping his feet moving, something that a lot of quarterbacks don't do on the quarterback sneak. They'll stop their feet once they get that initial contact. He keeps his feet moving, runs in backwards, nice touchdown.
75 yards on 11 plays, took more than 5.5 minutes off the clock. Warrior of the game, we want you to log on to cbcsports.ca in the second half and vote for the player you think has shown courage and heart and composure and determination. All the ingredients in a Warrior, and we'll let you know who wins in the post-game show. Warrior of the game is brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra Professional Grade. And how about Jared Payton? A pretty good-looking first half, 7 carries for 45 yards. Against this four-man front.
That's what I like to see, a football player enjoying himself, dancing to the music. He was talking to one of his teammates saying, man, I should have got in on the last play. Having fun playing the game. That's what it's all about.
Marcus Brady flashing a grin, too, after his 1-yard touchdown plunge to put his team up by 9 as Duval gets set to kick off. And Jared Payton was saying that he's really loving it here in the CFL. He went home on the bye week back to Chicago and got on a radio talk show, and he was telling the folks on the show, you need to check out the CFL. It's pretty exciting football. Jason Armstead backed up to the 1-yard line. Armstead now trying to go up the middle, gets a crease, and he's pulled down by the face mask. Jesse Hendricks gets his hand up into the face of Jason Armstead, who is at top flight. A 33-yard return. And there are 2 flags on the turf. Let's take another look.
Yeah, Jason Armstead, he decides this time to slow play it a little bit. He wants to wait for a hole to open up. He hits the hole and then gets almost decapitated by Hendricks.
Yeah, that's a scary looking face mask that just pulled the head back of Armstead. He's all right. So 2 calls, an illegal block against the Tiger Cats, Jason French, and then the call against Hendricks. The young rookie out of Eastern Washington, playing on the field corner for the Alouettes and special teams. Very aggressive special teams that Noel Thorpe has formed here in Montreal. And so they'll scrimmage the ball, the Ticats will, from their 30-yard line. 5 receivers. Moss with a flag, has time. Throwing across the middle to Brock Ralph in traffic, and TJ Hill got a piece of him, but he held on across the 30 to the 31. But another penalty.
Yeah, dangerous pass. Get the offsides on Montreal, but this very dangerous pass. They tried the same under route that they tried earlier in the game with Brock Ralph, but this time zoned it up. TJ Hill almost makes the play.
The offside call goes against the Alouettes as referee Murray Clark gives the 3-minute warning to the benches here in Montreal. Welcome back to Montreal. 2:57 and ticking until halftime. Jason Moss and the Ticats have a 1st and 5 situation after the offside penalty to the Alouettes. Moss with a 5-receiver set. Alouettes rush 4, drop 8. Moss with time, crossing route. McCants can't hold on, and he takes a hellacious hit from Lewis Mackey. The NFL veteran is slow to get up, as he takes his first pass, can't hold on, and takes a wallop from Mackey.
This last play, it really shows you as a receiver why you have to be able to read the defense. They're playing zone coverage on this. So that means as a receiver, you have to sit down in the zone and find a spot so the quarterback can hit you right in the chest. When you keep running, you're running into a zone, and that's what he did. He ran right into Mackey and takes the big hit.
Darnarian McCants is still down in his second start after that big hit from Lewis Mackey, who has a new life here in Montreal, and he's making it count, playing for the injured Kai Ellis. Darnarian McCants has 41 games of NFL experience with Philadelphia and Washington, and came into this game with just one catch in the previous game against Edmonton, and he's up on his feet slowly. Chris Puskas, the athletic therapist for the Cats, ushering him back. Here's another look.
Yeah, again, I think Darnarian McCants is finding out that this is a very different game than the game down south. With this wide field, the zone coverage, you need to be under control when you're going to catch a football.
McCants is playing the wideout position for the injured Tallman Gardner, who's out for the second week in a row. And they need him because at that position, well, Gardner had 8 catches for 143 yards the last time they played Montreal. 2nd and 5. Alouettes stunting. The ball's away and complete to Chris Bauman, his first catch of the game, but there are flags again on the turf here at Molson Stadium.
Yeah.
Chris Bauman with a catch. Remember, their last game ended with 2 drops by the young rookie and first overall pick in this year's draft in a 1917 loss to Edmonton. He has shook that off. This Hamilton offensive line is struggling tonight with procedure calls.
Yeah, this team really, they can't shoot straight in this first half. I mean, they're really shooting themselves in the foot by taking these penalties. Bauman was wide open on this play. With Darnarian McCants going out and Bauman coming in, he's having a very good season besides the 2 misses.
Well, the Cats have been terrible in the penalty department, but they're setting a new high water mark here tonight in the first half. 2nd and 10. Moss crossing road again to Lumsden, and Lumsden takes a big hit, and TJ Hill got the worst of it as he is slow to get up. It's one thing to hit a receiver, it's another thing to hit big Jesse Lumsden.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of hitting going on down there. You see Jesse Lumsden coming out of the backfield. He just leaks out of the backfield, catches it in stride, and then puts his head down. TJ Hill tries to get lower than him, but Jesse Lumsden has about 40 pounds on TJ.
Well, he exploded into the thighs of Jesse Lumsden and blew him up good.
He did.
But TJ Hill got the worst of it. It's a punt situation on 3rd and 2. Seta gets a high punt to Bratton. This time he makes sure of the catch at his 24. Tries to go to the wide side, gets a block, a flag is down. And he's wrapped up quickly on the play by Philippe Gauthier. A 52-yard punt follows the 63-yarder by Nick Seta earlier. Just a 3-yard return.
I think we saw on that play that Bratton was going to make sure that he got back deep enough on this one. It's much easier to run up on a ball than it is to go back and try to catch it.
Yes, he underestimated Nick Seta earlier. This call is an illegal block coming against the Alouettes. It'll move the ball back. Chance to remind you, halftime coming up in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Elliott in the panel standing by to analyze the first half. And then back in the day, we go back to a big battle in 1956 between these 2 teams, all coming up at the half, the CFL on CBC. 2:14 to go, and the Owls backed up to their own 15. Watkins alone on the boundary. Quick look in, though, is complete to Dave Stala, who makes his first catch of the football game, his first start this season after missing the first 7 games with a stress fracture, a hairline fracture in his foot. And he is determined to get back on track. The young man who a couple of years ago was a big feature receiver in this offense.
Yeah, Dave Stala went over 1,000 yards a few years ago. You know he's a very good receiver, but once you hit those injuries and they start piling up a little bit, it's tougher and tougher to get your stride back.
2nd and 2. And Jeff Piercy, the big fullback, into traffic and pushes the pile for a first down, Alouettes. You know, getting back to Dave Stala, a lot of people were surmising that his problem with the stress fracture in his foot was the fact that he wore soccer cleats as a receiver. He says he wears them because they're more comfortable. Right now he's gone back to football cleats for support, but he says, I'm going back to soccer cleats next year.
Hey, if it's comfortable, you just got to go with what feels right.
First down, Calvillo back against the blitz, stepping up, dumps it ahead to Jarrett Payton. Payton is brought down quickly by Matt Clark, the rookie halfback out of UCLA. And it'll be a gain of 9 yards on that little outlet pass to Payton.
Speaking of soccer cleats and soccer, as you mentioned earlier, Jarrett Payton grew up playing soccer, and that could account for why his feet are so good in the lane, in tight quarters. You see it. He has those very good feet and is able to do things right.
He's got the finesse. Jeff Piercy, the fullback, with the quick hit handoff, off tackle left, and Piercy is into the lineup now, of course, because of the injury to Mike Villamick. As we check the two quarterbacks.
You look at both of these quarterbacks, they're playing very good football. Anthony Calvillo has definitely had more completions and attempts, but Jason Moss is not playing a bad game. It's just that these penalties keep shooting their offense in the foot.
And Jason Moss has been unable to engineer a first down now for Hamilton in their past 5 possessions.
It's always tough when you're dealing with 1st and 15 or 1st and 20.
The microphone for the referee, Murray Clark, is obviously not working tonight. There was a short delay there as they didn't get the play off, and they're resetting the game clock. That's the official word now. The play clock being reset now, and 1:15 to go until halftime. Jim Pop, proud new father, baby boy, their 5th child, and on the sidelines tonight. Calvillo in trouble, bounces away from what looked like a sure sack, now throws it up for Watkins, jump ball. He can't bring it in, and he's out of bounds. Nevertheless, there's Big Ed Filion, who's working radio coverage on the sidelines. The former Alouette gives his former teammate a pat.
Oh, yeah.
Very good effort there.
Smart play by Anthony Calvillo here, though. He gets some pressure up front. Again, you have Clinton Wayne really pushing the offensive line back. Brian Chu does a good job of staying in front of him. Gets it out to where only Kerry Watkins can get it, or it's out of bounds.
2nd and 10. Calvillo in the shotgun with 5 receivers. Now Payton out of the backfield as well. More pressure. Calvillo will throw. He's got a completion. Elijah Thurman coming back underneath Lawrence Gordon. And this will be very close to a first down depending on the spot. They are going to call in the yardsticks for a measurement.
And if I was the Hamilton Tiger Cats, I would think about using this 3-down lineman set more often, because they seem like they're getting the best pressure with 3 guys rushing Anthony Calvillo. They make him get out of the pocket. He makes a great play to Elijah Thurman to get the ball out, but are really getting him out of the pocket with that 3-down lineman rush.
And they're going to be short by about a yard. And the ball spotted at the 48-yard line of the Alouettes. And Jim Pop will send Marcus Brady into the football game.
It is a big stand for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, because if they can stop this play, they get great momentum. They have almost a minute remaining on the clock.
Pop in a gambling mood, just at the 48-yard line in a 3rd-and-1 situation. Marcus Brady, quarterback sneak, and he was hit early. And this is going to be very, very close. Augie Baranachia was in on the play as the Ticats brought in some of the big men. And it looks like it will be a first down, right at the first down marker. And they're going to measure again just to be sure. Jim Pop, who is facing his old head coach from Montreal, Charlie Taft. There's that pile up again.
It looked like he got a generous spot on that play.
It did. Looked like he got stuffed. Lost his footing.
Oh.
And he has the first down by half of a football. But Pop was the man who hired Charlie Taft a decade ago to be the offensive coordinator here in Montreal. And now they match minds and wits as opposing head coaches. Hurry up offense now in the final minute. Calvillo throwing deep downfield for Bratton, and he was closely covered on the play by Dwight Anderson.
This is the first time we see it by the Hamilton Tiger Cats, pure cover 0. They bring one more guy than the Montreal Alouettes can block and say everybody on the line, all the defensive backs go man-to-man. Tay Cody is the free man to Anthony Calvillo, and Anthony doesn't have time, or he's not able to set his feet to throw a good ball out to Haddon.
42 seconds on the clock until halftime. 6 receivers set on 2nd and 10 for the Owls. Hamilton dropping 9. Calvillo gets it away, and it's complete on the far sideline. Brian Bratton has the catch and takes a big pop from Lawrence Gordon to the field side corner. It is a first down, though, as the Alouettes move the sticks.
Good concentration by Bratton on that play. They're mixing up man and zone.
And Calvillo into that fire offense in the final minute of this first half. And more whistles on the football field. And referee Murray Clark is heading over to the Ticat bench. Our clock says 35 seconds. The clock here at Molson Stadium says 40.7. And how are you at lip reading? And
yeah,
the indication we're getting from our spotters is that Calvillo may have been over the line of scrimmage on that last play.
Yeah, and I think they probably saw it. You know, in the last 3 minutes, they come up top and look at it from the.
So Charlie Taft issues the challenge.
Scrimmage is the 49-yard line.
Yeah, he's in the air. His last touch was behind the 49.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he was behind the line on this play, but I think it was a good challenge anyway, especially how close it was.
It is a first down. Calvillo safely behind the line of scrimmage, and a side for Charlie Taft with 40.7 seconds on the clock. The Alouettes trying to move into Damon Duval field goal range. His longest this year has been from 51. He has attempted one from 63 this year. Ashton Davis into the game now. Calvillo with a low ball, incomplete. And intended for Kerry Watkins, who can't bring it in. So it'll be 2nd and 10 with 33 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Kerry Watkins has been his go-to guy whenever he sees man-to-man coverage like it was on this play here. Hamilton goes into man-to-man coverage, throws it out to Kerry Watkins, but he had Ben Cahoon open on this play also.
Right now they are in Duval range if they had to attempt a field goal from this line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Calvillo leaves the pocket. Now he throws for the end zone. Deep downfield. Incomplete. Kerry Watkins battling one-on-one with Lawrence Gordon. And he can't make the catch. And these young Hamilton DBs gaining more and more confidence.
You have to chalk one up to Lawrence Gordon on this play. Anthony Calvillo throws a good ball, but Lawrence Gordon is right with him, gets a hand in there, off balanced at the end of this play also.
That was as far as Calvillo could throw it too. He had everything into it.
Looks like Kerry Watkins got away with a little pushing.
Great play by Gordon though to come back and bat the ball down, moving away.
Definitely. Good no call by the officials too, letting both guys play.
Would you go for it here on 3rd and 10 with 25 seconds to go, or would you kick or attempt a long field goal?
I think I would go with the field goal on this one.
Maybe Jim Pop is wary of Jason Armstead on a miss. Don't forget, Dominic Dorsick returned a missed field goal, 129 yards for the Argos against these very Alouettes. So they will go for it on 3rd and 10. Calvillo with a staggered count, bouncing in the pocket, firing the football. He's got a completion and a first down to Kerry Watkins on a rope.
Beautiful route by Kerry Watkins on this play.
And Watkins is taking himself out.
Yeah, you got to remember, Kerry Watkins just ran the deep route the play before this, so he's a little tired, but he gives it in move.
Wow.
This is something else that they can challenge on this play. He knocks the ball out, but it does hit Kerry Watkins' leg at the end. So
18.9 seconds on the clock. First down at the Hamilton 31. Four-man rush. Calvillo gets it away. And Elijah Thurman reaching out with a catch in traffic. And they'll move the sticks again.
And this is as good as I've seen Anthony Calvillo play all year. I mean, he is hitting his spots. Like a pitcher, hitting the inside, hitting the outside.
He beats the young rookie Canadian Michael Roberts on that play with a couple of moves. And the gain is 16 yards on the pass and run to Elijah Thurman. And there's an injured Tiger Cat. It's the rookie Jermaine Reed out of Akron. Anthony Calvillo on fire in this first half. Kahari completing 18 of 25 passing attempts for 223 yards in one half of football.
Oh yeah, now you don't need the stats to tell you that. I mean, this guy is hitting anywhere he wants to hit, and usually when it's incomplete, he's either throwing it away or a receiver drops the football right now.
And conversely, Jason Moss, after a good start to this football game, has gone quiet. No first downs in 5 series for the Tiger Cats.
And again, I think it's due to all of the penalties. They just bogged down so much with the penalties, they're not able to really get a rhythm on the offensive side of the football.
What kind of conversations go on in the huddle like that when you see Calvillo and Stala having words?
Well, usually what a big thing that I know I used to talk about is, hey, tell me how they're playing you. Tell me what's going on out there. When they're playing zone, where are they lining up? Where are those little pockets where you can be open? Of course, all receivers want the ball. They want to find a time to get that football. So when you have the quarterback's ear, you have to let them know that, hey, when he does this, I'm open.
Jermaine Reed leaves the field, and Anthony Calvillo has his football team ready to go. Now there's a straggler coming in from the Ticat bench. And now we're all set to go. Clock running. Calvillo facing 4 men again, throwing the deep corner. Thurman's open. Touchdown. And busted coverage by the Cats. Elijah Thurman has his 2nd touchdown of the season.
The case of young defensive backs getting mixed up. You have Michael Roberts and Dwight Anderson. They're playing banjo coverage, so when you have a guy going inside, that means they switch off. So when you have one guy go inside, the inside guy takes him. When you have a guy go outside, the outside guy takes him. They both go to the inside guy, which is Dave Stala, and leave Elijah Thurman wide open.
That banjo defense is chancy when you got young guys back there.
It really is. It's all about communication, and as you can tell, they did not have the communication right.
Point after is good. And the Alouettes complete a 95-yard drive on the scoring toss of 15 yards to Elijah Thurman, his second touchdown catch of the season. And they make good on the 3rd and 10 gamble to extend the drive.
Yeah, just great play calling again. I mean, they mixed it up well. You see Dave Stoller go inside, Thurman go to the outside corner. All he has to do is concentrate and catch the ball at that point because there's no one around him.
Calvillo is cooking. And they're fuming on the Tiger Cat bench. Young Dwight Anderson, who was caught up in that mix-up on the banjo with the rookie Michael Roberts out of Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's, as Montreal Alouette, that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see the defensive backs having problems. You see Dwight Anderson losing his cool on the sideline there. He knows they have to be able to trust one another, especially at that halfback and corner position.
But this is the 8th lineup change in that Hamilton secondary in 8 games this year, and this guy's been one of the constants, Dwight Anderson.
Definitely. I mean, he's one of the veterans back there right now because he has 2 very young halfbacks working with him. And it's easy to be frustrated, but you have to know this is a long process, and it will get better.
The secondary has 2 rookies and 3 sophomores starting tonight. Squib kick. And Corey Dickerson, the big fullback tight end for the Cats, has the ball to the 40 on the final play as the gun sounds to end the opening half of football. The Alouettes with momentum to the half and frustration boiling over at the Tiger Cat bench as they trail 22-6 at the half. Here's Brenda now with Jim Pop.
Well, Jim, your team played a solid half of football, but you might want to send a thank you card to your old friend Charlie Taft for those untimely penalties by his club.
Yeah, well, we've had untimely penalties too. That's how they got their 6 points. But you know, both teams, come off a bye week. We're not all sharp. We both sides have to do a better job. We both are capable of playing better, and I think the guys will play a better second half on both sides.
Anthony Calvillo was saying yesterday that in the 3rd quarter when you guys got the lead, you failed to seal the deal. Are you going to address that at the half?
Yeah, we do every week. We need to start doing it. That's the bottom line. Hopefully, we can come out and play very passionate football the second half, not to protect it, but to go out and bury them. Let's put it that way.
And congratulations on the baby boy. Now you have as many children as you do titles in this organization.
Well, you know what? Credit to my wife, and if I tell you what, unbelievable what women go through. I can just tell you that. It's unbelievable.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now let's go back upstairs to Mark.
Yes, a red letter day for Jim Pop and the Alouettes. A proud new Papa and his team up big at the half here at home.
It's a great shot. You can practically see where Neil Armstrong landed and where David Benefield lives during the week. Great drive by Anthony Calvillo, and if you really want to know what the difference is between these 2 teams, you have to see that drive by Calvillo and the Alouettes, and this has
changed the culture of this organization and teach them how to win. When you get down into those situations, you got to be sharp, Sean. You got to be able to execute, and that's the culture that he's got to change.
Now, penalties. Sean, I know you feel this is the responsibility of the coaches, but after how many weeks, David, does it become the responsibility of the players?
Oh, it's automatic. If you want to be a pro, you've got to know the play, you got to know your alignment, and then you have to execute, and you just have to know these things that you have to be disciplined. Bottom line, you got to be disciplined.
Hold on, David. The head coach is head coach for a reason, and he has to instill the kind of attitude that he wants in his players. And Kent Austin in Saskatchewan has managed to do that. He's taken that franchise, turned it around.
Sean, when do players have to accept responsibility for their own actions?
They do
in high school.
They do that as well, but I'm saying the buck stops at the coach.
But this is in high school. You don't have them running laps all day, no water breaks, no oranges. This is professional football, and you've got to know that, hey, snap count. You got to know what you're doing out there, and these guys are they're somewhere else.
Well, guys, I think that you could say the same things about the Montreal Alouettes. The fact that they're losing in Hamilton highlights all of this, but Montreal has been one of the more penalized teams in the CFL, and last I checked, they are 2nd in the East.
I agree, Greg, and I think they're making the same sort of mistakes. Coach The coach from Montreal also referred to that, but I think the difference is that they're having success in the game. Hamilton isn't.
Well, they can get away with it because they have probably more talent and they've been together longer. You were talking just prior to coming into the halftime show is that, you know what, Hamilton's got some great players, just not enough of them, and they haven't been together long enough. If they can do that and be patient, they're going to be a great second half team.
And the thing is, they're running out of time, Greg. They got to win these games or else they're going to miss the playoffs. We got to take the break. Don't forget Charlie Taft still coming up with Brenda Irving. Back in the day, the second half, as Montreal leads by 16. Elijah Thurman puts them up by that margin.
Back in the day, a shift in time. Brought to you by Nissan, trucks and SUVs.
Since 1950, Montreal and Hamilton have met more than 150 times, but one of the most memorable, October 20th, 1956, the most lopsided game in league history. The Hamilton guys should have just gone home. The Alouettes scored every way they could, in the air, on the ground, even off turnovers. This is how good the Tiger Cat offense was. This interception was almost a return for a touchdown, but did set up another score. Here's the point after from the back of the end zone so that the ball wouldn't go into the crowd. And in a move that Charlie Taft wouldn't approve of, with the score 75-7, the Owls go for it in 3rd and 2 to set a record for most touchdowns in a game with 12. The final was actually 82-14, and the Alouette fans celebrated like they'd won the Grey Cup. The Alouettes would need 60 in the second half for an 82-point game tonight. Won't get that, but afterwards, don't forget our post-game report online, cbcsports.ca, and if it continues this way, it's going to be an Alouette victory. They're up 22-6 at the break.
Been a frustrating night for the Tiger Cats. Twice they've been inside the Montreal 10, but have yet to score a touchdown tonight. Their head coach, Charlie Taft, is standing by with Brenda.
Charlie, I guess the homecoming not so sweet, at least so far.
Well, I'm disappointed because I know we're better than this, and I just you know, we had 4 penalties inside the 10-yard line. I mean, that kind of, you can't play like that. We had one good drive. We stopped ourselves. We had a nice first down, complete to Chris Bauman, and we get a procedure penalty on that. You can't play offense like that. Our defense hanging in there, playing pretty good. Then we let them convert a 3rd and 10, you know, and they go down and score a touchdown, and that's why they win. That's why we're fighting to learn how to win. And so it's still a football game, but we got to come out here and get something done right now.
Quickly, Jesse's shoulder, how might it limit him in this?
He's sore, and we'll see how he is. We'll see how he is in the half. He's going to try to go, and we'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Let's go back to Mark.
And as the coach said, it's nothing a quarterback can do when he makes a nice completion to a guy like Chris Bauman is called back by a penalty.
No, Jason Moss is not playing a bad game at all. It's just penalties, and I can understand Charlie Taft's frustration. I mean, you get with inside the 10-yard line twice and only come out with 2 field goals against a Montreal team at home. You have to be frustrated.
How about Anthony Calvillo? 237 yards passing to 79 by Moss, but total offense nearly 300 yards in that first half for Montreal.
Oh yeah, this looks like the Anthony Calvillo of a few years ago when he was just letting it loose and throwing for 5, even 6,000 yards.
Nick Setta will kick off the second half from the 5-yard line. The Alouettes get a promising return from Brian Bratton as he spins off one tackle to the 35-yard line, but wouldn't you know it, first play of the second half and another flag down.
Seen a lot of flags on the special team side of the ball this game. Most of where Montreal's problems with penalties are coming on special teams.
Illegal block. Montreal 0. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Sean Gallant, the special teams player of the week last game, as chosen by the Montreal coaches, gets the penalty. Here are the numbers at the half.
Yeah, one of the big things I look at is just net yards. I mean, almost 300 yards for the Montreal Alouettes, and the passing yards, 237 yards, with a lot of wide open receivers in that 237. First downs, big discrepancy.
Oh yeah, the Cats went stone cold in that second quarter offensively. Hand off to Payton, breaks a seam. Now he's at full speed and a gallop to the secondary. Jarrett Payton busts loose for a 31-yard run.
You see, missing the tackle initially. Again, making that first guy miss. Jarrett Payton has been doing that all game. When he makes the first guy miss and everybody is on the line, that's when you get the big play.
31 yards, 4 shy of Payton's longest so far in the CFL. Calvillo to the wide side. It's too high. And the intended receiver was Danny DeRiveau, the rookie out of Richmond, the Spiders. And it's just too high to bring in. Let's check the pass distribution chart of that opening half of football for Anthony Calvillo.
Yeah, and you look, what I see on this is his success wherever he is throwing the ball. You look at the 8 for 9, lower 3 for 5, but then 1 for 2 going with the deep ball. And really, when you get a deep completion like that, that's what you want to have.
Calvillo on fire, Ben Cahoon in the mix. On 2nd and 10, a 6-receiver set, 5-man rush, a screen pass to Ashland Davis, his first touch of the game. And he's quickly surrounded. Augie Baranachia into the football game on 2nd and long.
They tried to set up a screen here on this play. But Augie Baranachia reads it. Tay Cody is up early and gets the initial hit on that play. Again, being very aggressive at the safety position, up in the line to...
It stops the Alouettes, 3rd and 8. Duval off the side of his foot, end over end and bouncing out of bounds at the 27-yard line. No return on the play. And that's where the Tiger Cats will scrimmage on offense when we come back to Montreal. Jason Moss with a clean slate to start this second half after penalties and miscues marred the first. A quick shot complete to Jason French, and Mark Castell, the corner on the boundary side, is right there in close coverage. Jason Moss, we mentioned, was 79 yards passing in that first half. Here's where he put the football, Kahari.
Yeah, Jason Moss, again, he didn't play a bad half. He threw a lot of the short balls. He completed a deep ball early on in the game, but then it just went cold, and they had the penalties to really ruin some drives. He completed a ball in this quadrant here to Bauman, but it was erased by a penalty.
The Alouettes secondary coach Noel Thorpe, another timeout called here early to start this half, so that's burned by the Ticats as Moss heads to the bench. And Noel Thorpe, the defensive back coach for the Alouettes, is telling me that what worries them most when they play Jason Moss is when he throws the deep ball. That's when he's most effective. That's when he's beaten this team, and he hasn't been able to do it so far.
No, and they haven't attempted really to throw the deep ball. And Jason Moss has had success throwing the deep ball. His arm feels good. He's a good deep ball thrower. He puts some air on it. It allows his receivers a chance to catch the ball. And they're getting enough man-to-man to play.
What do you make of the timeout called so early in the half?
Oh, not a good sign. You really cherish those timeouts. You only get one half, and to use your timeout in the first series, that really shows that things are not going right for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
2nd and short, 2nd and 5 for Moss and the Tiger Cats. They spread 3 receivers wide right. Brock Ralph in motion. Moss back to pass, looking for Ralph. He's got him in coverage with Randy Drew, and a few more battling yards after the catch for Brock Ralph. And that's the first down for the Tiger Cats in 6 offensive possessions. And Brock Ralph is wincing in pain.
Yeah, and they have to hope that this changes the momentum a little bit. You see Randy Drew holding on to him a little bit, but Ralph Brock, a very good veteran receiver, able to get away from that hold, make the catch that keeps this drive alive.
The Ticats leading receiver with a 16-yard gain to move the sticks. Been a while. Four-man rush. There's the screen, and it's broken up. The ball intended for Jesse Lumsden, but the Alouettes reading that, and the screen has been a huge weapon for the Ticats.
Yes, and I think Montreal Alouettes know that it's been a huge weapon for them. That's twice that they've tried to use the screen so far. The first one, they get a holding penalty because they tried it to Brock Ralph, but this time they tried to Jesse Lumsden. Montreal is looking for it. Get their hands up. Make sure the play doesn't happen.
Second and long, and so the Alouettes bring in two more defensive backs to make it 7. True into the game, and Reinhardt on a passing down. They only rush 3. Flags are down. Moss pumps. Now he bails. Still on his feet to center field with a straight arm. And the hard-nosed Hamilton quarterback has a first down on the scramble. But there are flags, and the indication is it's coming back. Holding the call against the Tiger Cats, and Charlie Tapp has to be fit to be tied. Another big offensive play denied by a penalty.
Yep, but they have offsides on Anwar Stewart on that play also, so at least they don't take the full effect of the holding. But again, you cannot erase that off the board.
Offside, Montreal number 9. Holding, Hamilton number 69. 5-yard net, repeat second down.
So they get their down over, the call going against Anwar Stewart on the Montreal side, but the play negates 17-yard pickup by the quarterback, Moss.
Yeah, that is just a great play by Moss, negated because of the penalty. Again, we've said it before, shooting themselves in the foot all game long.
2nd and 15 as they move it back 5. Moss deep in the pocket. Sack! Alain Kashima with the big sack on Moss to force the Ticats to 3rd down. The 3rd sack of the season for Kashima.
Here he's coming off of the left side. Just beats Jonathan Woodard clean. Gets along the edge, stays low, and delivers the big blow to Jason Moss.
3rd sack of the night of Moss, the native of Montreal, with a big play. Kashima, good punt there, forcing Bratton back to his 18, busts a couple tackles, fumbles the ball, it's still loose. The Ticats are on it. Dwight Anderson recovering the football for the Tiger Cats, and a huge turnover on special teams. Dwight Anderson, who was so upset on the botched coverage on the touchdown to Elijah Thurman, has a make good here on the fumble recovery.
Yeah, this is really keeping Hamilton in the game. 2 missteps by Bratton. This is the 2nd time that he has had problems with, this time after he gets the ball.
Joan Armour with the strip and his big pie in there, and now Dwight Anderson is rosy.
Oh yeah, feel a little better after that play.
But that's 2 fumbles by Bratton on special teams. The league's leading punt returner in the doghouse. On the ground, Lumsden, left side, tripped up. A gain of 8. And Jesse Lumsden in the first half was rather quiet as we take a look at his rushing chart. In that first half of football career, he had just 5 carries for only 19 yards, less than a 2-yard average.
Yeah, and this is something that we talked about in the pregame as far as Jesse Lumsden not getting a whole lot of touches. I know his shoulder was bothering him early on, so he had to take some plays off. But if Jesse Lumsden is going to be your centerpiece, you have to use him.
Coach Taft confirming that he is in some discomfort with the shoulder, but sucking it up. 2nd and 1. Play action. Moss has all kinds of daylight. Heading upfield now. Head down. Fumble the football. It's loose. The Alouettes recover. And the black cloud hangs over the Tiger Cats tonight. 3rd time inside the Montreal 10. and they cough it up. Diamond Ferry savoring the forced fumble, and Jason Moss denied after a spectacular run to the 5.
Yeah, you called it a black cloud over it. It's like a thundercloud. I mean, they give the fake to Jesse Lumsden that draws the whole defense over there. You get down to inside the 5-yard line again and can't get down soon enough before Ferry makes the big tackle and causes the fumble.
The Alouettes take over at their own 5. Jared Payton is quickly wrestled to the ground by the rookie defensive end, Marcus West. And this is the 3rd straight offensive possession for the Alouettes that will begin inside their 15, and a pacing Moss trying to get rid of the frustration. You know what they say about Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But for the Ticats tonight, they got to be thinking Murphy was an optimist.
Oh, man. And they're just taking turns. It's not one guy. It's been the offensive line early on. Now Jason Moss makes a misstep.
Yep. 2nd and 10. 5 receivers for Calvillo as he backs into his end zone. Short drop, quick throw, big defensive play, and a flag as Lawrence Gordon goes over top of Ben Cahoon. And it looks like it'll be pass interference for Gordon, who has had a pretty good night tonight on the corner.
Yeah, I think early on they were going at him with Kerry Watkins, but that looked like a pretty good football play with him going over the top, unless his hand got...
Forward pass interference. Hamilton, number 29. By rule, it's applied as a 10-yard penalty. First down.
So an automatic first down for the Alouettes on the pass interference call to Lawrence Gordon. And the Alouettes trying to dig out of tough field position when we come back. Back in Montreal, Lawrence Gordon called for pass interference. And Jarrett Payton, there he is, leaving the field and headed to the sick bay, the dressing room for the Alouettes. So a first down for Calvillo and the Alouettes at their own 15. And Darren Diedrich is into the game at tailback. In the shotgun, Calvillo wide open. Jeff Piercy, the fullback, open in the flats, and a straight arm to boot for a Montreal first down.
Again, combination routes. They're doing rub routes. They bring all the receivers inside. This time they switch it up and use a running back to go to the flat route. Wide open. Hamilton has no answer right now for the types of routes that Montreal are running.
Anthony Calvillo really mixing up his bag of tricks, using 9 different receivers, Kahari Jones, through the air tonight. First down at the 33. On the ground now, Darren Diedrich into some traffic and turned aside. Darren Diedrich came out of Nebraska at about the same time that Jesse Lumsden came out of McMaster. And people here in Montreal say he is blessed with all kinds of God-given talent. But it's an interesting comparison. A Canadian trained in a top U.S. Division I school and a Canadian trained in a CIS school. And clearly, Diedrich not having nearly the same success or getting the same opportunity as Jesse Lumsden.
Yeah, and I think he would say that he hasn't gotten the opportunity yet. So this might be his big chance.
Calvillo back to pass, throwing the ball up for Thurman. He's got it. Right in front of Dwight Anderson as the ball hung up.
Dwight Anderson has to be kicking himself for this play. You have to have field awareness. Know where the receiver is to go get the ball. All he was looking at is the ball in the air. He thinks he has it. He doesn't go up high. This is what they teach defensive backs. You go and get the ball at the highest point, especially when you have Elijah Thurman over there, who's at 6'3", 6'4". You know he can get higher than you. You have to know where people are.
Yes, a huge height mismatch there, but the ball dropped in nicely by Calvillo. 27 yards, the pickup by Elijah Thurman. On the ground, and Diedrich is hammered just as he gets the handoff. Jermaine Reed, the rookie, in with the tackle on the 3-year man out of Nebraska.
And that's one of the things, going back to Dwight Anderson on the last play, I just feel like because he was so angry before this, before he was so angry at the other player, they weren't getting the banjo right, he got off of his game. And these are things, like I said, they teach you every practice you go in, you have to catch the ball at the highest point.
How to keep his emotions in check in this volatile game. Calvillo rolling left, throwing on the run. It's complete. It's Dave Stala with his second catch of the game. And he puts that ball with a little spin top to celebrate, and they move the sticks, the Alouettes do.
See Matt Clark in man-to-man coverage on this play. He is getting a trial by fire. Stala just uses his body, gives him a little wing. We call it the chicken wing, just pushes him off just a little bit so that the refs will not call anything. Creates that separation, makes it for an easy pass for Anthony Calvillo to complete.
Stala, big target at 6'1", 205 for Calvillo. Throwing again in the flats. Broken tackle by Cahoon, and he pays a dear price there as Dwight Anderson sticks him on the turf. Anderson taking out his frustration on the Alouettes leading receiver.
And Anthony Calvillo has to feel like this is practice right now. I mean, he is just throwing darts out there. He's getting not a whole lot of rush. He's just dropping back. He can look at his first read. He has confidence that his first read is going to be open, and he's throwing strikes.
Calvillo now with that completion over 300 yards for the night, and still lots of football left this evening at Molson Stadium. Gain of 7 on the play to Cahoon. 2nd and 3, 4-man rush. And again, the flat's wide open. Darren Dietrich has the catch and takes a wallop from Juwan Armour. And Armour, one of the biggest hitters on that Ticat defense.
You see the referees over discussing this, making sure that Darren Dietrich had the ball for long enough.
There's Jared Payton back on the Alouette bench after leading the field for the locker room. He was slow to get up a few plays back. Here's the measurement. And it's a first down. Greg, Calvillo's marching again.
This break for the Hamilton Tiger Cat defense is, you know, they're excited about it. I've been seeing them coming back and forth to the sideline. They are exhausted right now. The problem with airlifting all these players in and all this change is that they're not used to the pace of this Canadian game, and you can see it in their faces as they're coming from the sidelines.
Good point, because it's a draining night here, hot and humid in Montreal. You know players are going to lose upwards to 10 pounds a man at the end of this night. Play action now. Calvillo rolling, firing to the flats again. A flag on the play and a helmet rolling as Cahoon makes the catch, and the tackle and the helmet belong to Matt Clark. But a flag down, and Calvillo just taking what this defense is giving him, chipping away with the short pass.
Yeah, and I think Montreal finally got caught on this play. They were trying to rub route, and it looks like it might be offensive pass interference.
Illegal interference, blocking downfield before the pass is caught. Montreal number 81, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Kerry Watkins, and as a quarterback, Ari, wouldn't you just keep doing the rub stuff when you see a young secondary that gets confused when they try to go banjo?
Oh, of course. You keep doing it until they stop it. I mean, that's one of the main rules of an offense, is you keep going with something until they show that they are adept at stopping that, and they still haven't shown it. So I would expect to see Montreal to still keep doing the rubs, keep going back to those types of things.
A 3-man front now for the Tiger Cats under defensive coordinator Ed O'Neill in his first year in the CFL. Looking more CFL as the season goes along. There's a screen pass to Ashlyn Davis, bouncing on his own, and Augie Baranichia with the tackle, dragging him down in pursuit from behind on that 1st and 20 situation.
Yeah, very nice open field tackle by Baranichia. You've seen Montreal Alouettes, when they go to the 3-man rush, one of their plays against that, and ways to counter that, is to go with the little screen in the middle.
I mentioned the 3-man front. We have seen Ed O'Neill, who's in his first year coaching in this league on defense, beginning to morph more into a CFL type defense, going away from that 4-3 front, especially on 2nd and long situations like this. 2nd and 20. They'll only rush 3. The Cats dropping 9. They get pressure with a 3-man rush, and Calvillo escapes. Now he gets it away. A comeback catch by Davis, reaching behind. What a play. And a late flag. As Davis perhaps a bit over exuberant in the celebration.
Yeah, you got to keep your emotions in check. You see Davis right here makes a fantastic play, gets the first down, and then negates a lot of the yardage that they got by spiking the ball after the play.
Spiking it right in front of the official.
Conduct. Montreal number 1.
It looked like a harmless spike, but it goes into the official.
Third down.
Exactly.
And that's when you're in the doghouse.
That's it. The official didn't feel like he was very safe on that play and calls the penalty.
And it was well after the play, right here.
Yeah.
Right in the face of the official. And so that'll wipe out the gains made by Ashland Davis. 16 yards in the play, and so it'll be a 3rd and 12 situation and a field goal attempt by Damon Duval, and the head coach is taking notes.
Always taking notes.
This attempt from the 34. Cahoon the pin, and Damon Duval with a bit of a slice splits the uprights for Montreal as they open a 19-point lead. This telecast is copyrighted by the CFL and licensed exclusively to CBC, and any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game is prohibited. Back in Montreal after the Duval field goal from 34, he's 3 for 3 on the night from 27, 32, and 34 yards. And set to kick it off to a Ticat team that continues to shoot itself in the foot. The game not out of reach. From the goal line, Jason Armstead up the hash marks, a quick move, bouncing outside. He can accelerate, turning around, and dropped in his tracks by Sean Gallant. Down to the sidelines, Brenda with an update on Jared Payton.
Well, Jared Payton, as we saw a little bit earlier in this half, went into the Owls dressing room and re-emerged about 5-10 minutes later. The Owls coaching staff, very difficult to get anything from them or the trainers, the medical staff here, but he does have some ice right now on his right rib, so we have to assume that it is a right rib injury that may or may not, though we're not sure, keep him out of this game, the remainder of this game tonight. Mark?
Thanks, Brenda. Well, with the lead right now, you know that the Alouettes can be cautious and not subject them to further pounding. Moss throwing the deep ball. Jason French coming back for it, and he's got it. Jason French spiking the football. The fans want a flag, but the football doesn't come near an official.
Yeah, big difference between spiking it in front of an official and spiking it in open air, I guess. So. But nice play by Jason French. Again, using his body to get in front of it and shield him, but so he makes sure he's between Hendricks and the football and then goes up and catches the ball at the highest point.
We talked about Moss and the deep ball and how they threaten the Alouettes when they do that, and we see it there as he goes deep for 35 yards to Jason French. In only his second start with the Tiger Cats since coming in the trade from Saskatchewan.
Oh, and Jason is over there on the sideline saying, we can do this all day long. Let's keep going. Keep throwing the ball deep.
Draw play. Lumsden gets free, puts his head down, and barrels his way close to a first down as he runs over that small corner, Mark Estelle, at 5'10", 180. He gave up about 50 pounds on the play.
Yeah, you don't want to see a big boy like that coming at you. Again, you'll make sure that you get as low as you can. Yeah. He was almost on the ground on that play.
Lower than a worm's belly, right to the turf, and Lumsden.
He's going to have to invest in some shin guards.
Playing hurt tonight with a banged up shoulder, staying in the game as the Cats try to come back in the dying seconds of this third quarter. Moss throwing wide side. It's complete to Chris Bauman, and he's drilled out of bounds from behind by Chip Cox. And Bauman, who had that big 17-yard gain in the first half, negated by a holding call. Comes back with a clutch catch, and they move the sticks again, the Ticats do.
And it's nice that they have a guy like Bauman that can come in for McCants, and you're not really losing anything. You're probably gaining something, because Bauman has shown this year that he can catch the ball. He had a great game against Winnipeg a few weeks ago, and he is one of those receivers that is a gamer.
And they say he's really recovered psychologically from those two crucial drops in the last minute in that ill-fated comeback attempt against Edmonton. 1st and 10 in a double take formation. Play action. Moss rolling to the short side, throwing downfield. Incomplete. Corey Dickerson had it in the breadbasket, but couldn't hold on under contact as Etienne Boulay separates the ball. Fourth quarter straight ahead here in Montreal. A capacity crowd still not convinced with a 19-point lead, and the Ticats moving again. But the Ticats keep hurting themselves. How about Corey Dickerson? A catchable ball that he drops. The former Calgary Stampeder, who played 4 games there 2 years ago, had a tryout with the Detroit Lions last year. They love his size and his speed, but he's got to make those catches.
Those are the plays you have to make, and a good team makes those plays.
2nd and 10. Moss in the silent count. 3-man rush. Flushed and sacked. 4th sack of the game on Jason Moss. Kashima and Stewart tag team the Hamilton quarterback. And again, Moss, who is hard-nosed, has taken his shots tonight.
Oh yeah, there's hard nose and there's being a crash test dummy, and now he's bordering on the other side of that right now. I mean, you see him, he's back here, they're using their speed. Montreal Alouettes with Anwar Stewart, with John Bauman, they're able to use speed on the outside and get to Jason Moss, and they're just taking turns making mistakes.
Wow, if looks could kill, he is really worked up. Another great drive that.
Oh yeah, and he's mad about a route right there. He's talking about one of the routes that the receivers did. He thought he was going to do one thing, he did the other thing. Nothing makes a quarterback more angry.
This attempt from the 48 for Seta, and it's good. Nick Seta with 3 for Hamilton. Jason Moss smoldering and keeping to himself on the bench. Yet to put the ball in the end zone tonight. Just 3 field goals to show for some good-looking drives. And there's Anwar Stewart into the game as a tight end with his 2nd catch of the night. And he'll move the yardsticks. 1st down and a gain of 15 yards.
Talk about Mr. Do-It-All. He gets a sack on the play before the field goal, and then he comes back and catches the ball. What should be a 2nd catch of the game. I mean, that is just an athlete. That's how you played when you were a kid. You played both ways. You just, hey, you rush one inside, you go out and catch the ball next time. He's out there just having fun as a football player.
Stewart with 2 catches for 37 yards, some big tackles and pressures too on defense. Ball up for grabs to Elijah Thurman, and he can't get back. Michael Roberts with good coverage for the Tiger Cats. As we have a moment here, Kahari, to look at the statistics through 3 quarters in this one-sided game offensively.
And the 3rd quarter looked a lot like the rest of the game. You know, Montreal still moving the ball, but this game is still in reach. I mean, the 2 mishaps by Braden has really kept this game in reach. And you look at the biggest stat right here is the turnovers. You had 3 turnovers by Montreal Alouettes, and that's really one of the big reasons that this game is as close as it is.
Calvillo opens with 6 receivers. The play is whistled dead as players on both sides moved early.
I think Nod McKay Loescher was a little quick trying to anticipate the snap count. And again, mistake after mistake.
Offside. Hamilton, number 9. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
I think it's the thing with Hamilton Tiger Cats right now where everybody is trying to do a little bit too much. You see Non-McKay Losher is trying to make something happen on the defensive line, so he feels like he's going to jump the play. Everybody needs to just settle down and do their job, and the team would be running a lot more smoothly than it is now.
Well, Charlie Taft may have seen enough as he's pulled McKay Losher, and Jermaine Reed comes in. Calvillo throwing deep again for Thurman, and this time he's triple covered with help from the safety Tay Cody over top.
Yep.
And if you're just joining us, we're glad to have you here in Montreal. Here are the statistics to bring you up to date. Calvillo with a field day through the air. His primary receivers have been Kerry Watkins and Elijah Thurman, and Jared Payton, the incumbent running back, was 75 yards on the ground before being forced out of the game with sore ribs.
And on the bottom of that page, I think Hamilton being in the red zone 3 times and not coming up with the touchdown is a very big story in itself.
Punt situation, and Marcus Brady is in on 3rd and 5. Remember, he's got a great leg. He can hoof it 47. He fakes it. So look into Ashland Davis, and he's got the first down. No, they're ruling him down. Incomplete is the call. It'll be a turnover on downs as Ashland Davis thought he had one, and the Owls thought they pulled a fake on the Tiger Cats. Jim Pop making more notes after a failed 3rd down gamble. Marcus Brady, who has a great leg as a punter, is a double threat with the fake. They had it on here, but look at this.
Oh yeah, you have a quarterback in there. You think you're going to get a good ball from the quarterback, and he ends up throwing it like the punter would have thrown it. You know, you definitely don't want to see that when the quarterback's in.
So the Alouettes turn it over at midfield to the Tiger Cats. On downs, play action. Moss wants to go deep. Overthrows his receiver. Mark Estelle with the interception. And back it comes. Estelle to the 40 down the sidelines. Gets a few blocks, and now he squirts free. Still going. Stumbles. And cut from behind. Loose ball. And it comes to rest in Alouette hands. What a thrilling play. But a mix-up again between Moss and his receiver.
Again, miscommunication, trying to force the ball in. That's kind of a microcosm of the Hamilton Tiger Cat game this far. He has Brock Ralph running an in route. Jason Moss throws the post pattern. And the only one back there to catch the ball,
Mark Estelle.
Mark Estelle.
Mark Estelle with his 2nd pick of the season. Takes a huge hit by Nate Curry. Loses the football right here.
Yeah, carrying it like a defensive back instead of a running back.
Actually, Brock Ralph got back there as well, trying to make good for the botch. And then Moss locks horns with Kashima. On an ornery night in Montreal, play action. Sniffed out by Zeke Moreno on the screenplay that was going nowhere.
Yeah, this defense has to be feeling like, hey, we've been out on this field all game long. We've had the short field all the game long, and to their credit, they're still out there fighting. They're still trying to make plays. Zeke Moreno hasn't given up. As you see by that play, making a great effort to knock that ball down.
Moreno still battling after a 76-yard interception and fumble return. And the Alouettes with a chance to really build a big lead. A look in across the middle. It's incomplete, intended for Ben Cahoon. And a 3rd down for the Alouettes, who failed to capitalize on that exciting turnover. And on the Ticat bench, Timmy Chang is warming.
Yeah, and I think if they go with Timmy Chang, I definitely understand the move. Sometimes you need a change of scenery back there at the quarterback position. And again, with them being able to move the ball but not putting it in the end zone, and the last play, the miscommunication, maybe they just need a breath of fresh air back there at quarterback.
Field goal attempt from the 31. Second time tonight, a turnover followed by a turnover between these two teams. Duval gets a good pin, and he hammers it. Wide right. Wide right for a single, and Duval misses for the first time tonight.
Good.
Jason Moss has been pulled from this football game after giving up his 6th interception of the season.
Yeah, this interception was it was miscommunication, but again, Jason trying to force the ball. Brock Ralph is on the side of this play. He's supposed to be running a post route, but he cuts it off early because everybody is playing deep. And Jason Moss still decides to throw the post route. He has to be able to see that and get off of that man and throw it short.
So Timmy Chang comes into the game, and he has a completion to Brock Ralph in the flats, and Ralph, with some speed and getting up down the sidelines, is forced out at the 54, a 19-yard gain on the first offering of the game by Timmy Chang, the rookie out of the University of Hawaii.
Yeah, Timmy Chang, he comes out firing. I mean, he's used to doing that from college. This guy he threw 45, 50 times a game in Hawaii, and he's not adverse to putting the ball up in the air.
So Moss pays the price for the miscue on the pick, and his numbers look like that. What a frustrating night it's been for him. Play action, Chang rolling, throws the screen to Lumsden, and he's cut down by Anwar Stewart. But Lumsden will have a gain of about 6 yards on first down. 2nd and 4. And Timmy Chang, who relieved Jason Moss in the first 3 consecutive games of the season, has posted numbers like this.
Yeah, and it looks like rookie numbers, you know. I mean, he doesn't have the best completion percentage, has one more interception than touchdowns, but he's a gunslinger. He's going to go out there, he's going to fire the ball and try to get it in spots, and he'll learn over time what you can and can't do in this league.
Play action again. Chang, fleet of foot, throwing deep corner to Brock Ralph, and it's too far. And a flag on the play now with 3 Alouette defenders in the vicinity. But Timmy Chang has come out pitching, trying to rally this Tiger Cat football team.
Yeah,
and it's going against the Alouettes.
Looks like Chip Cox was a little too forward on this play.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Montreal number 24. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's Randy Drew who gets the contacting the receiver call, and Jim Pop is out on the field. Trying to get the attention of one of the officials. And there's an injured Alouette. Kashima, Alain Kashima, is prone at midfield. The native of New Burgundy getting some attention as we remind you. Warrior of the game, let us know, 9 minutes to go in the game, who you think is played with heart, courage, and determination of a warrior. Warrior of the game is brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra, professional grade. Anwar Stewart, honorable mention for sure. A couple of big catches, some big hits. And Jim Pop trying to influence the referee, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, he's talking up the referee there. He wants to make sure that his point is felt. He's lucky to have an injury right there, so he gets a chance to actually talk to the referee.
He obviously didn't like that call contacting the receiver against Randy Drew. Let's have a look.
You can see Randy Drew come into the play on the right side. And, I would be angry too. It looks like Randy Drew's just looking for the ball like the receiver.
Yep. And of course the ball wasn't catchable, so that's why it wasn't interference. 1st and 10 on this drive. Timmy Chang stepping up, fires it to Dickerson, who makes good this time. And there's a flag in the backfield. It's a holding call coming against the Tiger Cats. And once again, even Timmy Chang's not immune from the snake bite tonight.
And I think we could have guessed who that was against. I mean,
retenue. Hamilton, numero 59.
Oh, A bilingual call.
Look at that.
That's Jerome Davis, 59. The right tackle. He's had a couple of those.
Yeah, he's just having problems, as is most of that line. And again, who is it on? Anwar Stewart.
Yes, he has been a load tonight. And Taft's team, more penalties than he'd like to see. 1st and 20 after the call. And Chang nearly has it picked. Chip Cox had his hands on it. It was too high, looking for Jason French on the slant. And he ran right into Peter Diakowski.
Yeah, Timmy Chang put a lot of speed on that football, trying to fire it into Jason French, but Jason French is coming towards him. So what you need to do is hit the guy right in the chest with that ball so he can catch it and then move forward. You put it high, that's a very tough catch for the receiver to make.
Timmy Chang played the run and shoot at Hawaii under June Jones. He's well suited to Charlie Taft's offense. Broke 2 NCAA Division 1A records. Most career passing yards and most career touchdowns. What's he got here on 2nd and 20 against the blitz? And he's down. He flinched as John Bowman came hard. And it's the 5th sack of a Ticat quarterback for John Bowman, his 5th, team-leading 5th sack.
And you hate to single out one guy on the offensive line because it seems like they're only singled out when they do something wrong. But again, Jonte Woodard is having troubles on that left tackle position. Again, he gets away with hitting Bowman in the head, but Bowman keeps fighting and gets the sack.
Seta with a high punt right out of bounds. Angled out of bounds at about the 11-yard line as Ashlyn Davis has no chance for a return, and John Bowman celebrates the 5th Alouette sack of the evening. Dave Stala has 2 catches tonight in his first game of the season after missing 7 with a foot injury, but he's out right now. For more on that, here's Brenda.
Like you said, Mark, he missed the first 7 games of the season because of the injury, but it looks like the same injury has sent him to the locker room earlier in this half, and his night is over. Thanks, Brenda. That's tough news for Dave Stala, who was hoping to get back into this season. Quick hit to Kerry Watkins. He breaks the tackle and gets out of bounds close to the first down marker against Lawrence Gordon.
Yeah, and Greg even mentioned it in the pregame show that this was the first time that Montreal had their whole group of receivers together, and Stala was a big part of that. And he had a great first half. He was catching the ball, using his veteran skills, and to see him go out again is very unfortunate for Montreal.
And you never want to hear this, but some people have labeled Stala injury prone. And he's out again. Hand off to Jeff Piercy up the gut, and it's stuffed. And driven right back on 2nd and short. We'll see where they spot it for the Alouettes. But Dave Stala, who was in and out of the lineup last year, had some hamstring problems. Started the preseason in Toronto, then did not start the regular season with a stress fracture in his foot that some have linked to wearing soccer cleats. And as Brenda just reported, he has left the game again in his first appearance of the season. It is a first down. As we remind you, the World Track and Field Championships continue tomorrow on CBC with the men's 100 meters final, the major event of the day, the blue ribbon event of track and field. Join Don Whitman, Michael Smith, and Rob Snook from Osaka, Japan at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, as well as late night tomorrow night on CBC for the World Track and Field Championships. 1st and 10, up the middle, Darren Dietrich. And he scrambles ahead for a gain of 4.
You see Hamilton right now, they're taking a lot of chances. I'm looking at Tay Cody, who's their free safety. He is playing at the linebacker position and blitzing on this play. They're playing a cover 0, and Montreal was this close to breaking that into the 2nd level with Darren Dietrich.
Now, Tay Cody has played 3 different positions in the defense this year at boundary halfback, at Sam linebacker, now free safety, where they want to use his versatility, but there's been some suggestion he needs to get on his game too. Here comes the blitz. Calvillo waits, now fires high and incomplete, intended for Elijah Thurman, but flags down on that 2nd and 7 play. And a man down for the Alouettes. It looks like Scott Flory, the right guard. It is. And this offensive line has been banged up. Brian Chu missed a couple of games. Dave Mudge had knee surgery 12 days ago
Offside.
on his left knee.
Hamilton, number 32.
And is back in
5-yard
action
penalty.
as a backup,
Repeat second down.
rotating tonight. They've had to start Skip Seagraves, the import, at left tackle. He had a tremendous training camp for the Alouettes, but they hope to use 5 non-imports on the offensive line to help them at other positions.
Yeah, and that really messes up the ratio a little bit when you have to go with different guys up front than you originally think. And it's an unfortunate thing of football, but injuries do happen. Scott Flory has been a great veteran in this league for a long time. You just hope it's not something too significant.
Let's have another look at the right guard. 57 Flory backing up. Oh, and he gets rolled up. Not McKay Lozier gets carried into Flory from his blind side.
Yeah, and that's usually the problem on that offensive line. You're worried about everybody in front of you. You're worried about the man in front of you. And if an offensive line gets injured, usually it's going to be somebody coming from the back, like on this play.
You know, talking about offensive linemen and the perils of playing in the trenches, I was speaking with Pascal Charon yesterday. He's the 8-year veteran for the Ticats who's just come back after having his ACL completely torn apart in a late hit by Kyrie Zeber 3 weeks ago against Winnipeg. And so he has no ACL. He's playing with a brace, but he's telling me yesterday, I'm going to play every snap like it's my last. There he is taking a breather on the bench. But he said, you know, when you're an offensive lineman, you know one day you're going to get a career-ending shot, especially, he said, me without an ACL. I never know when it's going to come, but I got to play like it's going to come someday.
Definitely. I mean, offensive linemen, you couldn't imagine all the things that they go through. I played with a guy in Winnipeg, Mo Eloanibi, who had 28 major surgeries, and everything that you can name, he has had it, from herniated disc in his back to ACL,
Right.
MCL problems. I mean, and still getting out there week after week.
We work with a big man who played 16 years
Yes,
along the
we
line
do.
of scrimmage, and he's got a few squeaky joints himself from all the hits and shots.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you're watching in tonight. Hello to Chris Walby if you're watching, sir. Up the gut on a 2nd and 2 situation to Jeff Piercy. But Pascal Charon said, I've got 3 young children. I want to be able to play with them 10 years from now. I don't want to get so beat up that I can't live my life. But can you imagine playing knowing, as he does, that with that ACL, he doesn't know when it's going to happen, but he said someday I'm going to be forced out of this game with a crack on the leg.
Yeah, and it's definitely a tough way to play. I mean, this game is tough enough, but when you're dealing with injuries, when you're dealing with major injuries like he is, it can happen at any time.
And he took that shot on his surgical knee. He had spent 11 months in rehab with a new ACL from a cadaver, and then it was blown up. Here's Kerry Watkins battling his way to the 40-yard line. The rookie Michael Harden out of Missouri making his first start in the secondary for this young Ticat defense. Makes the tackle, and the gain is about 8 yards.
Anthony Cavillo is on cruise control right now. His biggest thing is just moving the ball, getting first downs, and holding on to the ball to make sure that Hamilton doesn't have many opportunities to come down and score.
He's on cruise all right. He's used 10 different receivers. We talked about the fact he's had 9 different receivers in the lineup through the course of the first 8 weeks of the season. He's employed 10 different receivers tonight. Double tight formation. And Darren Dietrich bounces out of the first gap and goes outside. And he'll be close to that first down. He needed about 3 yards in the play. 2.5. And this Ticat defense that Greg Ferris reported being exhausted continues to spend a lot of time on the field.
Oh, and they have to be exhausted. I mean, with the 20-second clock again, like he was saying, a lot of these players are not used to the Canadian Football League. They're used to coming from down south where you have 25 seconds in college and 45 in the NFL. And you're coming with 20-second clock, less people, so a lot of these guys are playing special teams also, and their tongues have to be wagging right now.
Greg, what do you got?
Well, I was talking to Jim Popp yesterday, and obviously they've gone through a rash of injuries with the receiving corps, but one of the positive points he brought out of that is it gave a lot of young guys opportunity to get in and get some reps, so he feels now all of a sudden the veterans getting healthy, they're a stronger football team, but they're also a football team that has tremendous depth going into the second half of the season, and he definitely likes that about his team in regards to depth of his team.
Yes, they have a lot of depth. They lost Terrence Edwards in the offseason. He's ripping it up for Winnipeg, but he was saying to us yesterday, Greg and Kahari, that Terrence Edwards might not have been able to make his football team this year. That's how deep it is at receiver.
I don't exactly believe that, but they are deep.
Yeah. Third and less than a yard, 3rd and inches, and the backup, Marcus Brady, is in on this 3rd down gamble at the 42 of Montreal. Brady takes a big shot over the top on the sneak, like Zeke Moreno came in like a missile over the top, and he'll have the 1st down by about a half a yard. So Brady's job is done. He heads to the sidelines. He's had 4 carries for 4 yards and 1 touchdown tonight. And the cleanup roll.
Oh yeah, I played that position before, and it's kind of a thankless job. You come out, your running average is terrible, but you get the main 1st downs that you need.
Anthony Calvillo celebrating his 35th birthday this week. Having a tremendous game. Here comes the blitz, an all-out blitz, and the ball's away deep into safety beyond coverage over top of Lawrence Gordon, and incomplete.
Yeah, and that's Kerry Watkins. He definitely has to read that. It's a 0 coverage. He has to know that he cannot run that whole route.
We're at the 3-minute warning in Montreal. The Owls in hand. Calvillo at the controls and on cruise control tonight here at home. One of 4 CFL quarterbacks to surpass 50,000 career yards passing. He did it this year, and tonight with 355 yards so far on 42 attempts, he has moved ahead of John Elway into 6th place all-time in passing yardage. And that one won't count as he throws it away under pressure, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, and if I were a betting man, I would say it was against the team in white. Just the way their night is going so far.
Yes, the Ticats have been cursed on this night with some great scoring chances denied
Hamilton, number
by
32.
turnovers, penalties.
Repeat 2nd down.
Got a moment here to update your Montreal game notes, my friend.
All right. See how close I was here. On offense, Ben needs a friend. I think Ben found a few friends in Kerry Watkins and Thurman. 97 and 102 yards, almost 200 yards between them. He had some very good friends today. And Chip cracks the whip. He didn't have to. The whole defense played well, and the defensive line really was the group that had the 5 sacks and no touchdowns allowed. Big stat there.
Calvillo has the pass batted down by Naughton McKay Lozier on 2nd and 5, so the Alouettes will have to punt. But you're right, Calvillo has not relied on Ben Cahoon tonight with 10 different pass catchers in his arsenal.
And it makes sense because, I mean, Ben Cahoon is so smart out there, and he's great at reading zone coverage and sitting down in the right zones, whereas when you have a Kerry Watkins, when you have Elijah Thurman that can beat man-to-man defense, a lot of what Hamilton is playing, you go to those guys.
Duval with a big, towering punt all the way to the goal line and a bounce through the end zone for a single point. And a late flag on the play as there's some pushing and shoving in the Ticat end zone. Now that draws a crowd on this hot, sticky night in Montreal. An 82-yard punt single for Duval, his longest kick of the year. And the officials are quick to quell the emotions in the end zone.
And I think this is the frustration showing on the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now.
And Anwar Stewart right in the thick of it. He's wearing the mic tonight. Let's check back in with him.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
Who was it on? That's right. Davis! Davis, I was on you! Hold it!
That's all the Cats could do to stop Anwar Stewart tonight. They're just holding on for dear life.
Oh, yeah, just put a hand in his face. I mean, really, nothing else you can really do to this guy today. Doing it on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball.
And the flag was against Hamilton. It was Philippe Gauthier, unnecessary roughness, the call. You were right.
Oh, Hamilton.
Hamilton with 17 penalties for 110 yards tonight, back in the bad books. Chang throwing wide open is JoJo Walker. His first catch, a straight arm, and a flag down late after the play in the vicinity of the Ticat quarterback. And it's a late hit coming against the Alouettes.
A little rough in the passer on this play. Looks like it wasn't too big of a thing, so Eric Wilson gets in there.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Montreal number 38. 15 yards applied at the end of the play. First down.
Eric Wilson wears 36. 38 is Tim Strickland. He's not in the lineup tonight. It is Wilson, a former teammate of yours, right there with a very late shot, getting a chance to play in his first game with the Montreal Alouettes after a roundabout journey back this season. He was going to start the season in Saskatchewan. Eric Tillman traded him to, or rather he was traded from Winnipeg to Saskatchewan. They wanted to reduce his salary. He balked at that, quit, was suspended, or at least released, and ended up here in Montreal. How about your Hamilton game notes?
All right. Starting on offensive side of the ball, take stock in Brock. Well, Brock didn't play badly. 3 catches, 50 yards. I still don't think they got the ball to him enough, but with shooting yourself in the foot, it's going to hurt you. And Tay must come to play. Well, he was in on a lot of tackles. 7 tackles, but unfortunately, when your safety's in a lot of tackles, it means they're catching the ball downfield.
2nd and 10 for the young quarterback. Gets it away. Timmy Chang to Brock Ralph. And Ralph, in a short settle route there, will be well shy of the first down and a gain of about 3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah, and this is the point in time where you're just trying to establish some kind of rhythm offensively. It's almost a victory that you didn't have a penalty on that play, and that's how bad it is for the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now.
We came into this game talking about the dire straits the Cats were in at 1-6 coming into this football game and beginning a 4-game series against Eastern opponents, beginning with the Owls tonight, then back-to-back games with Toronto followed by Winnipeg, and the hang time is good there. No yards will be the call as Ashlyn Davis scrambles to the 30-yard line, but the Ticats have blown another chance with the Argos losing last night to Winnipeg. You know, sitting at 2-6, the Cats had another great chance to get back into the East.
And Hamilton is not out of this. As bad as 1-6 or what probably will be 1-7 is, they are not out of this. With Toronto really faltering, with the teams going back and forth in the West, they still have an opportunity if they can get things going in the right direction very soon. And they need
Montreal number 89, no yards. Hamilton number 27, apply 5 yards, first down.
Michael Roberts and Sean Diner, the players getting penalized there. But getting back to the standings, the Ticats will be 1-7 after this football game, heading into Labor Day in the back-to-back series with the Argos. But more importantly, the crossover is becoming more of a factor now, and they really needed to win about 8 of their last 11 games to go 9-9 and have a chance of staving off a crossover from the West, with the Eskimos already out to 7 points along with Calgary. Play action now. Marcus Brady at quarterback. He's got a completion to Ashlyn Davis, and he's got a few moves as he gets a first down and a gain of 16 yards to the 40.
Yeah, with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, going back to that, I don't even feel like they should be thinking about the playoffs right now. They shouldn't be thinking about crossover, anything like that. They need to be thinking about getting better and really working in-house to make sure things are better with that football team, because right now they just are not going on all cylinders.
Charlie Taff has some cornerstones in the franchise with players like Lumsden on offense and Zeke Moreno on defense. But it's been a tough night. Look in pass, incomplete, intended for Kerry Watkins, and good coverage there by the corner, Dwight Anderson. How about the Alouettes trying to stay in lockstep with the front-running Winnipeg Blue Bombers? They'll move to within 1 point of first place Winnipeg as we take a look at Anthony Calvillo's performance tonight. Spectacular. 354 yards through the air, 1 touchdown pass.
Yeah, I think he'll take that for his birthday. I mean, Anthony Calvillo was just outstanding today. There are no other words to describe it. He just knew where the open guys were and hit them on a consistent basis.
Brady rolling, wants to load it up. It's a crossing route back to Ashland Davis. He spins at the 50. And Zeke Moreno makes the tackle for the Ticats. And another first down for the Alouettes.
And this is one tired defense right now. I mean, it seems like they've been out on the field all day. Montreal has had so many long drives, so many sustained drives. And when you give any quarterback time like that, he's going to make you pay. Marcus Brady is a guy with experience.
Oh, yeah. Standing around all day.
Calvillo's 354 yards tonight matches his season high against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in that 2018 loss they suffered earlier this season. Ground play for a gain of 4 to midfield. A reminder, coming right up, FIFA Men's Under 17 World Cup. Check that, it's Major League Soccer on the marquee. Toronto FC and DC right after the football game. Second and 7 in the waning moments of this football game. And look at this, a double reverse to Ashland Davis as the Owls pull out another trick, get outside. That's going to infuriate the Ticats. And a flag down. He steps out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, but a flag back just across the line of scrimmage. Gain of 17 on that little mixed direction play.
Oh, yeah.
Montreal numéro 3. Penalty divers, répété essai.
Another crowd-pleasing French call by Murray Clark.
And on this last play, this is going to be something that the Hamilton Tiger Cats definitely put in their mental Rolodex here.
My limited knowledge of French, number 30 is numero 30 would be Darren Dietrich, the holding call.
I got to get a book. Know a little Spanish.
Now Brad Banks, the number 3 quarterback, into the game. In the final 35 seconds, the number 3 quarterback in the shotgun. He throws downfield, very close to the first down marker, and a gang tackle on Brian Bratton as he stumbles to his feet at the 50. Brad Banks was a promising young prospect with the Ottawa Renegades. In fact, when he came off the bench and lit up the Alouettes when Don Matthews was the head coach here a few years back, Matthews said, "Who's that?" I mean, he got Matthews' notice, and Don Matthews may no longer be here, but the Alouettes have finally gotten Brad Banks in the fold as the number 3 man, who looked like he had run out of luck in Winnipeg.
Yeah, he definitely did. Brad Banks got in a few times in Winnipeg the last couple of years and didn't really show what he could do, but he has shown glimpses that he can be a good quarterback in this league.
Yes, they're showing his mobility on that 3rd and a yard gamble, moving the yardsticks with 5 seconds to go in the football game. Ticat defense, a very weary and beaten bunch on the night, on the field all night against Calvillo and the Alouettes. And now Brad Banks on the final play will take a knee and end this football game with some more hot blood and some tempers flaring along the line of scrimmage. But this one is in the books. Anthony Calvillo, 354 yards through the air. Anwar Stewart with a warrior-like performance offensively and defensively tonight against a Hamilton team that had so much promise, so much opportunity, 3 times inside the 10-yard line of the Alouettes, but unable to score a touchdown. And so they drop to 1-7, remain last in the East. And Jim Pop's Alouettes are within 1 of first place Winnipeg. Here's Brenda.
Well, one of the challenges that Anthony Calvillo was saying he had heading into this game was the fact that you couldn't seal the deal, close it out when you had the lead in the second half. What was the difference today?
Well, I think that the difference today was our defense. Offensively, we still didn't do enough to put this team away in that third quarter. So we're going to continue to work on that, but our defense continues to play hard and keeps us in these games, and we're going to continue to win.
At the start of the season, when the team was struggling, some were wondering if this was the decline of a dynasty. How confident were you that we hadn't seen the best of the Owls yet?
We don't believe so. I think for us, when you play 18 games, you're going to struggle at one point or another. Our struggle came in the first couple of weeks. Now we got our stuff together, but we're trying to get better, and we're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're good. A gracious Anthony Calvillo defeating Charlie Tapp's Tiger Cats. And it's the 4th win in a row for the Alouettes as they continue to ramp it up on offense.
Well, Charlie Tapp waited to say goodbye to Anthony Calvillo. That's his son, Brian. Brian is a quarterback going into his last year of high school, and he is being heavily recruited, his father was saying yesterday, by a whole bunch of schools. And when Brian Tapp said goodbye to Calvillo at the game, I hope he said to him, boy, I learned a lot watching you tonight. No doubt. That's a great shot, by the way. Boy, if a father needs consolation, it's tonight. Charlie Tapp is coach of the Tiger Cats. More of the game tonight, no question who it is. Anthony Calvillo turns 35 yesterday. We joked earlier, he got a belt, some jeans, a cigar lighter, and some amaretto. He'll enjoy that cigar tonight with a big birthday performance. He was outstanding for the Alouettes. So we hammered Hamilton at the first half. Let's give Montreal some credit tonight. Calvillo credited the defense, Sean, but at 35, that's as good as I've seen Calvillo look.
Calvillo looked great tonight. I think he also, if this were Christmas, he'd have a couple of presents wrapped under the tree. He got Thurman and Watkins. They stepped up and had a great game as well. Calvillo was looking downfield, finding his receivers wide open, being relaxed. He missed a couple of throws, but in general, Calvillo was excellent tonight, guys.
I think Calvillo's always been a great thrower, and tonight just totally proved it to me.
All right, Greg, before we wrap up, we do want to just touch this a bit on air. Here's Jason Moss throwing the interception that got him yanked. And I heard Kahari Jones saying no just as he threw the football. What would you do if you were Hamilton next week?
Well, I think you continue to slug it out with who you have. Eventually, I mean, there's been so much change, and with all that change comes inconsistency. You're not being able to pay attention to the detail. What you need to do is finally settle on a roster and then allow those players to grow in your system.
All right, well, when we come back, we'll wrap up the show and set up for the online. Anwar Stewart, another terrific player tonight, 2 catches and great defense. Last year in Calgary, Tom Higgins said Elijah Thurman was the only one of the receivers who doesn't come back to the huddle and yell, I'm open, I'm open. He was wide open there for the end of the first half touchdown. Soccer coming up next, DC United, Toronto FC. Then tomorrow, more coverage of the World Track and Field Championships, including the 100-meter final. Afterwards, don't forget next weekend as part of our Labor Day festivities, 2 Jays games at home against Seattle, Saturday and Sunday. TSN's next game is the non-traditional Labor Day matchup, Alouettes Lions, and then we're back on Monday with the annual Labor Day doubleheader. Pre-game show starts at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, Toronto Hamilton, followed by Edmonton Calgary. Boy, the Hamilton faithful are going to love this one. Coming up next, we send you to the soccer. Good night from Montreal.